Oh yeah.
Yeah. Once upon a time in '92, I'm gonna get my shoe.
Weak.
I'm Kurt Blow, and I'm here to say we can't save hip hop USA. Right. I can never do that shit though.
And this is how it starts, ladies and gentlemen. This is exactly how it starts.
Right.
Every time you're going to get something random, you might as well enjoy it. It's going to happen every time.
Welcome to the Man What Y'all Doing podcast, the podcast where we inform you, the audience, what we've been doing because we conceited like that. I am, of course, Rockman, a.k.a. Jay, and with me today is Karnajj.
Man, what it do, man? You know what I'm saying? Coming straight live on the What Y'all Doing podcast. You feel me?
Perfect. I could have asked for anything better. And then we got Sack Lunch. What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? Look at that boom pap. That boom pap rap.
The boom boom pap. The pappity boom paps and snaps.
Genius couldn't be with us today. Genius is he might make it on later. I'm not sure. Me and him definitely. I might do a separate session. Me and him got to do some talking about WandaVision and the deep dive, but he won't be able to make it tonight. I'm pretty sure. If he does, obviously he'll show up. He'll do the guest appearance from like the old TV shows that's coming in. Hey man, everybody, hey woo, in the audience and all that stuff. And until then, it'll be us three rocking it. So. Anybody want to go first in what they were doing in the past? It's been like 4 weeks.
July Autonomo Bay.
Oh, I guess it'd be me. All right. Oh God. God.
Oh boy.
All right. So I've actually been busy with a lot. I'm dead serious. Like, as opposed to last time or the time before last, when I was like, I didn't do much except play Monster Hunter. No, I did that. I did that and then some. So, first and foremost, I finished Mandalorian in its entirety a few weeks ago. I think we haven't really done a podcast probably in like a new recording in like 3 weeks. So it's gonna seem kind of weird because the last episode came out like a week ago due to editing issues. But now I got that cleared up, so we should be good. But it should be like pretty much every other week. But yeah, I finished Mandalorian. I had a good time watching it. I thought it was great. I got to see one of my favorite characters in the show show up, Ahsoka Tano, and I'm like, she's here. She's in the official canon. I mean, she's always been official, but it was nice to see her actually in the show, and it's just interesting. I think they're doing a show of her by herself as well. I won't go into the actual episode or anything to avoid any major spoilers, but I mean her part in the series with this, it's just that episode. It's kind of like she's locked to that part of it, so it's nice she like has a bigger role in the entirety of the Mandalorian. And then that season ends, and then there's like we're kind of waiting for season 3 now. So, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty dope. It was very kind of what's the word? Very serialized. It's like each episode is very self-contained. You can kind of watch it and. You can catch up a little bit. There are like story threads to catch up on, but if you were to come in the middle of it, you wouldn't exactly be like super lost. It's not a super deep story. It's not something you sit down and watch, and at least in my opinion, something you sit down and watch and try and break down into like a million, theories and whatnot. It's just a very enjoyable watch of like a almost cowboy-esque kind of character going through all these scenarios to protect the child.
Pretty exotic.
Yeah, it's pretty exotic, and I like the fact that they went so many different places too, and like really reach some different creatures that you don't see or haven't seen in the Star Wars mythos yet. Very different alien species and stuff like that weren't touched on before, and I thought that was really cool too.
Like the frog people.
I was gonna mention the frog one. Yeah, that was the one I was like, wow, okay, this is different. Like, okay, this is different. And then the fact that the child just
kept eating them.
Babies.
They're like the only two left in existence and stuff. And he's like, oh. I'm like, oh no, you're eating the babies, dog. Let's supposed to reproduce.
The fact that he looks so like the look he would give when he ate a tadpole was just. It was this mix of like that's adorably evil and at the same time like that's so messed up. It was hilarious. I was like that they pulled off really well. He had this, especially when he told him like no, don't do that, and he would just look. He would
like,
look at
what do you mean?
Like
what do you mean, dog? Like I'm gonna eat them anyway.
Right, I'm gonna do it anyway.
You telling me not they're delicious, man? I mean. I don't want anything you're serving. I want those.
He would feed
like, he's like, you just ate.
You shouldn't be hungry right now. He would just look at he was so mesmerized. At first, when he was mesmerized by it, like my mindset was like, he's gonna eat those. I'm like, no, they wouldn't be that cruel. But then you see him stuffing them in his mouth. I'm like,
popping them like jalapeno poppers on. Straight up,
man, that was So that was like stuff like that happens throughout the series, and it's really just dope. Like it has some funny moments like that. It has some serious moments too, obviously, but it was like that was one of my favorite episodes just because of like again the weird species that they brought in that we haven't seen in that universe before, and then the fact just the way they had the child just acting. Man, I was just like, oh my god, this is hilarious. This is great. This is well staged, well planned writing and just
great writing at its finest. Great writing at its finest hours.
Right? I'm like, yo, this is good. So, highly recommend Mandalorian season 1. It's only 2 seasons right now, and let's say season 3. We don't know when it's coming out because of good old pandemic. So we're just waiting to see when things get back in production on that. And if we hear some more news. The next thing I was on personally is I've been very slowly watching Kipo in the Land of Wonder Beast.
Yeah, Land of Wonder Beast.
Oh, yeah, and that's been pretty good. I'm only on like episode 5 of like season 1.
Oh, you still on season 1?
I'm still on season 1. I'm watching it very slowly. I watch it like one episode or 2 a week. It's been pretty good though. Like I'm probably gonna watch. So the thing I got going right now, and that's what I started doing personally, is because I want to get more TV shows and whatnot in my background, so that I've watched and observed and learned from as I'm doing my writing and stuff. Especially someone who watches more scripts. Is I've committed to every Friday after work, I try and watch a few hours of whatever's on streaming services or whatever new show is out that I'm interested in, or whatever's in my backlog. Because I have a ton of shows I haven't watched yet. The Kipo is just one of them I'm watching right now. I still got to watch a bunch of other shows, but that one caught my eye specifically because of interviews I saw and whatnot. And I'm like, okay, I gotta check this out. And it's actually really dope so far. Like I said, I'm still very early, obviously, but we're gonna see where it develops. And this is it's heartwarming and it's very. You can tell it's very much like an all ages show. But at the same time, it's not. What's the word I'm looking for? It very much is for an all audience. It's not very childish. And at the same time, it's not trying to be super edgy or anything. It's just very cool. It's a very nice show to watch, and it's got some interesting ideas in it. I like the beasts themselves are very interesting. Like some of the ideas, like the Timber Cats. That's the one I watched most recently, which I think
Timber Cats. Yeah.
I
like the bees. When we get to the bees, I don't know if you got there yet. They're pretty cool too.
I don't think I got to the bees yet. I just got to the point. Okay. The one I just watched now was when they got to the rock and roll snakes. I'm not sure what they're called.
Yeah, snakes. Yeah,
those were dope. I'm like, these snakes with the guitar. I'm like, okay, I like these creature combinations.
Like you'll come across the raccoons who do like fitness and they're all jacked and ripped.
Man, see, stuff like it's so cool. That's one thing I really love about it. Like these creature ideas. They're like pulling these real world ideas and then combining them with wildlife and like making these wonder beasts. And it's like, okay,
these creatures become sentient and they come across like some form of American pop culture or something like that, and they adapt to it and make it their lifestyle, make it their culture, like the rock and roll snakes. You know what I'm saying? They probably came across this material with Harleys and rock and roll, and they're like, "Yeah, we like this," and it became their thing.
Right.
I think it's pretty dope. Timber Cats, the way they live, almost like Wookiees. But,
actually, it is like very Wookiee reminiscent. You're right.
Like Wookiees, but the whole belief of like Yum-Yin and all that stuff is pretty dope. Yum-Yin.
Stuck in the canopy. I'm like, what? And it's like, then you come to find out he's not actually stuck up there. He's just hiding up there. It's very cool. And then like, what was it? What are those frogs? What are they like? Are they toads, frogs. I
think they're just frogs.
They're just frogs. Okay, yeah. They happen to be like mobsters, basically.
Yeah, like mobsters. Yeah, they do hits and stuff, and like. Mm-hmm.
And that's the first thing you're introduced to. So I'm like, wow, okay. I just thought it was just those characters. I didn't realize that every like set of creatures going forward was going to be kind of like that kind of idea where like mix an animal with like some sort of motif, basically. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is cool. It's been really interesting. It's been an interesting ride. I had a theory, but I'm not going to present that theory right now because I feel like it's wrong now as I watched the entire episode. About the giant baboon, the 6-armed baboon that showed up at the end of that episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had a theory about that. And I'm like, I think I'm wrong, so I'm not even gonna.
I mean, you can say it, and I'll let you know because I've already watched it. I mean, I'll just say, you know.
See, now I'm not gonna, because if I do that now I'm gonna spoil it for myself. So my thought was, because of the fact that we reacted to Kipo's song so well, I was like, is that her dad? And like, nah, that wouldn't make sense.
You're the ballpark, champ. You're the ballpark.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay, I'm right. Never mind. Cool.
You're not right, but you're in the ballpark.
I'm in the ballpark. Okay. So I'm in the ballpark. I'm entering the field right now. I'm getting my dog and chips, sitting down and watching the game.
That's funny.
Okay, you're in the ballpark. Yeah, you're in the ballpark.
Said,
Yeah, the way he said, he's like, I'm like, it was so definitive. You're like,
Like he might be onto something here.
Oh man! All right, so my theory, I'm close. Okay, now
you're close.
Shit. Okay, I gotta keep watching. Yeah, I'm gonna try and watch more episodes during the week instead of just 1 or 2. I usually just watch like 1 or 2 on Fridays, but I might try and hit them up on Thursdays and stuff to see what other time I got. Once I have more time, aka once I'm no longer at my day gig, I will be putting in more time to like really watch some shows and stuff and catch up too, just on a daily basis. So I'll probably get more in my bank. It's just right now, Friday's like the most open day I have to like sit down and watch stuff. So it works out. It gives me, and I get off early on Fridays as well for my day job. So it gives me more time to like really sit down and like, okay, like right now, my main thing is on Fridays after work, I shut everything down and I can sit down and I watch WandaVision. Like that's what happens every Friday. I'm like, same thing we do every Friday, Pinky. Try and watch WandaVision.
Yeah.
So
try to decipher WandaVision.
Right. Man. If anybody's listening to this and wondering why I'm not going in depth about WandaVision, I kind of don't want to because X is almost caught up, and if I start talking about it, I'm going to spoil where he's at. And normally, if he's like, I'm not worried about it, I would go with it. But at the same time, where he's at, I don't want to ruin none of it. So I'm not going to go into deep into WandaVision right now. But I think what I'll do is I'm going to have a deep conversation, a deep dive with Dre at some point. And it may show up on this podcast, but I may wait until next week. I'm not sure. But if it does, then I'll go into like a deep dive then, in a place where I won't spoil it for anybody. Because we may even do a separate episode where I'd like just me and Dre just talk about that separately and just like upload that separate so people don't have to spoil themselves. So, because see, I want to. Anyway, moving on. So Kipo, watch that. And then what else did I watch? Shoot. Blanking out. Well, I know for sure the thing I read as of yesterday was Boruto. And they shanked this man. I don't know if is anybody following Boruto at all? The manga specifically.
Oh, manga. I didn't catch up. I'm behind by a lot. Gotcha. I haven't read in the past like 2 months.
Do you care if I talk about it or not?
Yeah, I kind of do because I actually like the manga. I don't like the anime, but I like the manga.
I like the manga. That's why I'm like, I haven't watched the anime, but just from looking at I'm like, I haven't liked the Naruto anime in a long time, just because I didn't like the animation that they were going with, except for certain scenes, obviously. But the manga's been
90% filler.
That too. I kind of
it's like 200 episodes of filler, man. I have not. I'm like, where's the story at, man? It's like this filler.
Oh, I heard something about. Okay, so X, you're gonna know about this deep for sure. Promised Neverland. As you know, we both. I'm pretty sure you read it too because we talked about it before.
Oh,
we read the manga all the way through. Huge fans of it.
Great.
I haven't watched the anime, and I kind of hadn't planned on it, but I was getting the inkling too because I heard season 1 was so good. But then I heard about season 2, and I heard that they skipped. If anybody that watches or is reading Promised Neverland that has not seen it yet or has not watched it, you're gonna want to stop listening right now because I'm gonna spoil stuff if you're interested. This is your warning. This is your final warning. Marv. What's name on? I've called like 3 different names. Karnajj.
Yeah, I go by all of them, so it doesn't matter.
You better change your name. Change your name back to your original clown. Better change back to Marvel 1.
It ties to the podcast too. Marvel, yeah.
I do what the hell I want.
You know what? You got a point. You got a point. I can't argue that one.
You sit over there and eat your sack lunch. Okay?
You know what I'm saying? I got a fried bologna, American craft singles
with the apple slices.
Yep. Box juice.
But the box juice.
I'm lactose intolerant. Capri Sun. No. Screw the Capri Sun. The high C lava.
The high C,
burst,
yes.
Your lava burst.
Slimer Aid.
Yo, Slimer Aid. Oh my God, bringing it back.
You know what I'm saying?
No, so
it was your sack lunch.
Karnajj, do you care about? Are you interested or watching Promised Neverland? Do you care about it? I'm not going to go super deep in the.
I never heard of it.
Oh, okay. Then I guess I won't worry about it.
You need to hear of it.
You do. It is really good, but I highly recommend reading the manga.
I mean, you're not going to spoil anything for me because if I'm going to watch it, I'll watch it regardless of what I know.
Okay. Long as I'd like to check just to make sure. So I'm like, man, you're spoiling for me. I don't want to do that to nobody because I know how it feels.
And you always fucking up shit for me. Excuse me, sorry. I didn't mean to drop the F-bomb on the podcast.
Yeah, what are you doing? now I gotta actually do work and edit.
I mean,
French.
Oh,
Karnajj.
Don't make me
excuse
do
me,
work.
French.
Excuse
my American.
Excuse my friend. Anyway,
excuse my American for choice of words.
My American, yeah. Excuse my American. I don't like to excuse my French. Excuse my. That's American as you can get. The F-bomb. Anyway, I'll get off topic. Promised Neverland. So X, from what I'm hearing, because I haven't watched the anime, but people are saying season 2 is really bad, specifically because they skipped the entire Goldie Pond saga.
No.
Yeah.
No way.
They say skip it, and then Norman just appears out of nowhere. And I'm like, how do you skip? Like, that's one of the things I want. I'm like, I gotta see how Goldie Pond plays out.
I confirmed this. Bro,
I'm on a website called Recetera, where I'm often like, I kind of lurk there. I post sometimes, but in that particular thread, I was looking through it because I was curious to see how season 2 was going because I was considering watching it from a couple of things people posted online. And yeah, they were like looking at everybody else and they're like, everybody's super disappointed. Like, dude, they skipped Goldie Pond. I'm like, how do you skip one of the best like sagas in the manga? Like, Goldie Pond was so good, and it's crucial because there's a couple of characters in Goldie Pond specifically that it won't make sense that they show up later unless they're going to rewrite the story, which would seem like they're going to have to.
Because they're probably going to be doing. They might even venture back into Goldie Pond and just do like a flashback couple episodes. You know,
they've already done a highlight episode apparently, which makes no sense because it's like, what are you highlighting? It's not that long of. Like, what are you doing? I'm very scared. I have not watched it. I've just been listening to what people have been saying.
None of that series should be edited, man.
None.
They just keep it.
They
keep it as it is.
And if you're gonna edit anything, not Goldie Pond, because that was like so integral.
They don't need to edit none of it. All of it good. Every page.
Every page.
What are you editing for? Like, it's all good. All of it, yeah. Keep it as is.
Well, because enough material. I don't know how they play it, but remember that at the end of the series, Lewis comes back, and the whole reason that they're able to succeed is that Lewis takes his position as royalty again.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But Lewis is introduced in Goldie Pond. So if you skip Goldie Pond, how do you do that? I don't understand. I have to either see it, and I don't know if I'm going to put time in to watch it, or I have to like just keep following the commentary on it and see what's happening.
I'm gonna try to watch it. Guy got the episode 1 of it. Guy has some other stuff I was watching.
Yeah.
I couldn't do much this past like almost 2 weeks, but you know.
I hear. Yeah. I'm just.
They're gonna do a Dragon Ball Z and plot hole filler.
Oh God! Oh no!
They're gonna retcon and yeah,
it would be so messed up because it was so good. Like, really, I think the series as a whole. When I read it, like I said, I enjoyed the entire series. There's very few things that I had an issue with, and they're very minor. And I can't even think of them right now. They're so minor, but like, it felt like a series that when I read it, every single saga that was in there made sense and added to.
Yeah, every arc was good. Every arc was good.
Yeah, and I'm like that's the word. I kept saying saga. I meant arc.
No, you're good. And they all tie in. And so it's like
they all tie in.
Anything else. Yeah.
Right, and so because like even with the Lewis thing, like if you're reading it, like if you read it as it was coming out, you saw Lewis supposedly quote unquote die, but you kind of knew he wasn't dead. And you just wonder, like, well, what's going to happen with him? And then later on, he shows up, and it's like, oh, shit, okay, he's back. And so, and it makes, like, the way they explain it off, it makes sense in what happened, and, like, his kind of change of character. It makes sense, basically. And for them to, like, just say, we're going to skip all that that happened in Goldie Pond and, like, go jump to this point, it's just, like, WTF, man. I'm very, very surprised. Actually, I shouldn't say, it's not Lewis. Lewis is, no, because it wasn't Lewis. It was Lewis wasn't royalty, if I remember correctly.
No, that's right. Yeah, he wasn't official. No, he wasn't official. No.
Yeah, he wasn't official. He just came back to help. What's his name? Sungju, I think it is.
I think so. Yeah,
I can't remember his name now. Damn.
I should draw rules.
Musica's protector, basically, because he was the queen's brother. Yeah. So anyway, that's it. Like all that stuff, I'm like, how do you skip past Goldie Pond? That was a very important part because Lewis played a part in that, and he comes back and he's important in the end. I don't know how they do it. And then, like I said, Norma just reappears and they don't really explain it. Apparently, again, that's me going off of what people have said online and in that particular like follow thread. I'm like, okay, well, that sucks. So I'm gonna look into it myself at some point and just like maybe watch it. Maybe watch season 2 specifically. I don't know because I got a lot of stuff on my plate to watch. But I wasn't sure if you were aware of that because I heard it and I'm like, maybe X is watching the anime too. So I was gonna see if you had seen it or not. But it sounds like you haven't seen it either. So we both just like, what the?
Yeah, I'm like, man, because I was wondering if they'd do something like that. I'm like, don't do it, man.
Man,
stop. Yeah. They do that for some series, and I'm like, stop. Why'd you take it out? There's no point in taking this part out, man. We just gotta speed it up.
Right, yeah. Like we got speed up. We don't have enough time for enough budget. And it's like, well, then don't do it. Then just like if you're not going to put the time in and do the budget, then just don't do it. Like with something like the first Full Metal Alchemist series, or like some other series where like the story is or the anime is so far ahead of the manga that they just don't have anything to go off of, so they make their own ending because of their funding. I get that. I'm still not a fan of, but I get it. Right. And then they go back and they remake it, and then like they just do it.
Now I'll say this: with FMA, they did a great job in regards to like doing totally their own thing.
Right.
Okay. Like it could be its own standalone. So if you've never read the manga, it's standalone on its own, pretty strong.
Right.
It still carries a lot of the same
themes and
thematic vibe. Yeah, thematic vibe that the Brotherhood has. Obviously, Brotherhood has characters that FMA doesn't have. Like or the Chinese Empire, they have any of those guys, and they kind of flip some of the homunculus around too.
Yeah,
but for the most part, you still got like a similar feel from each from that one to Brotherhood. Brotherhood just was a little bit more gritty,
right?
But other than that, like it's one of the few series I think I didn't mind that. There's other ones I'm like, y'all didn't do a good job at it at all. Like if you're gonna rewrite it. Or be so far ahead of the manga, like make it good. Like Boruto, that's Boruto's problem. They're looking for a cash grab. They're just making more and more episodes. Boom, 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 filler.
Yeah.
And nothing to do with the manga is filler, and the filler is not good. That's the problem. It's not good. The fights are good. The fight they'll put some budget on fights.
Right.
It takes like 20 episodes to get to one, and it's like the rest of it's just boring.
And that's my biggest problem with that was probably my biggest problem when I was watching Naruto and Bleach for that matter. Is just I don't like watching the major series that follow a manga because they feel like they have to put in filler to keep themselves behind the manga, and it ends up being lame. It's just not fun to watch. It's like sometimes the filler, sometimes you get a rare filler episode or arc, just like okay, that was pretty decent, but most of the time. Nah, it doesn't help. Like I would honestly rather them just pause the animation and just say like, all right, we're done with this part of the season.
One, it's because
when we catch
they either make it like more slice of lifey or which is maybe an a juxtaposition of the main series. Like if it's like a battle shonen kind of thing, all of a sudden they're like, oh, let's make it a soft slice of life 30 episodes. You're like, then you lose that energy, that vibe because they didn't have it. And then also, but they cut budget a lot of times drastically. Yeah. And so the fight scenes they have fight scenes in shonen are trash. There's like if they're good, like some people like them. Okay, let's go back to Bleach. We talk about all the time. We're not shouldn't go on a lot of time on it because we do. Yeah. Okay, like looking at the arc with all the Zanpakuto. Okay, like I wasn't the hypest about it, but a lot of people like that arc where all the Zanpakuto become actual figures, beings in existence, and they, but the production was good on it. You know what I'm saying, for what it was. So a lot of people like the arc. You know what I'm saying, Genius likes it. You know what I'm saying, he stayed before. He liked that arc a lot. You know what I'm saying? And it makes sense if you have a good budget and you can kind of make it interesting. But like Naruto, like Naruto has some okay arcs that were filler. They were okay and tolerable. But there's some that are like bad. They're just straight wall bad.
Yeah, I think the ones that work with Naruto again. I think that's what really works for side arcs is when those arcs really relate to the story and give you more background information. When it's something like, okay, here's if you're reading a novel and then you see a side story in a comic or a graphic novel or something like that gives you more information that you actually want to know. It's like with Naruto, the stories that told the background story of each of the Jinchuriki, that was cool. And I actually liked some of those. I don't know if I liked all of them because I didn't watch all of them. But the ones I did watch, I'm like, oh, this is how the Two Tails was born. Oh, this is how the Three Tails.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Stuff like that was cool because it gave you a background that even the manga itself didn't give you. But it still tied into it. And you saw those characters later show up in the manga and, temporarily when they were brought back to life or whatever. So it tied in and it made sense. And I think that works. But yeah, when they had these arcs, it's just like, they have nothing to do with anything. They don't add anything. Or like there's side characters that just show up for that arc. They have nothing to do with the main storyline at all, ever. Like basically the characters that way, if you look on the wiki and you look at the description, it says anime only. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah. You're like, oh, I know what that's about. That's one of those filler characters that's just there so they can hold some time over. And it's annoying seeing that because like it takes up so much time and energy that could be devoted to like more backstory from the show. Like a lot of those manga, like again, we're going back to Naruto or going back to even like with Promised Neverland. Like Promised Neverland cutting out Goldie Pond is weird because like that's in the manga. It's there and it's good content. So why would you cut that? You're leaving out hella story that was already fleshed out and well received. So it feels weird when they do that because it's like now you're losing content for no reason. But it's even worse when you have content that doesn't need to be there, that makes the story longer and fatter just to get more, I don't know, because God knows it's not, I don't know what it adds. I guess I'm trying to figure out what it even adds to it, because like, if it adds something to the story, I'm cool with it. If it adds more background to the story, more background to the characters, even if it's silly or a slice of life or whatever, if it adds something to it that still feeds into the main narrative, I'm okay with it. But a lot of the time, a lot of this filler doesn't. It's just there to be content, and it's never the same as the original story. And it just turned off. That's what turned me off from Naruto. Aside from the animation just getting ass in Shippuden. I feel like I got like 4 episodes into Shippuden. I was like, yeah, I'm not ever watching this again. I was like, nah, I'm good. And I didn't. I'm like, because like you said, the fight scenes, they'll take all the budget to animate those. And that's great. I want to see great fight scenes. But me personally, I'm like, I want to see decent animation all the time. And there was some fight scenes that they had that were just like, ugh. And then what was it? I think it was the mirror match where like Team Guy had to fight their own selves. Was it? I think that's what it was.
Oh, I think
yeah. When I watched that, I was like, nah, bro, I'm done. I'm cool. I'm strictly manga now. I'm good. This is utter crap. That was animated so poorly. I'm like, I'm good. Nah, if this ever put it, I'm not gonna watch it. I'm good. I'm not gonna spend my time on this.
Like Rock Lee's arc was animated like trash. It was it was like a lot of things was. They ain't bring out the B team.
they brought the F team for that one. They were like, listen,
they came out with JV.
Look, dog. They went to their own version of the G League and pulled off the bench, dog. They didn't pull the starters, dog. They pulled the bench off the G League, man. Bro, I was like, 4-string, really? 4-string?
Man, it was so bad. Like it was one. I think it was like one jump animation or something where they literally just took it looked like they just took the characters and just like moved them across the cell. I'm like, all right, man.
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm like, nope. Yeah. I'm not watching this. I was at a friend. This is like back in 2008 or something like that, I think, maybe. And I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm not watching this ever again. And bless my heart, I have not watched it since then. I was like, yep, I'm reading manga only.
See, that's how I felt about Black Clover, and you know what I'm saying? I like the manga. It's typical shonen. Yeah. It's a mixed mosh of like all the popular ones. Right. Throw in some Bleach, Fairy Tail, Dragon Ball Z. Throw it all in a pot, stir it, and serve it on a plate. That's what Black Clover is. Right. You saying? And it's not bad. But like when I first started watching the first season, I was like, dog, man, they have moving textures in the background. That's trash. It's like, and then some of the stuff they're doing like felt like that moving cell crap. Like I'm like, dog, it just came out. Like every episode of this series should be like creme de la creme, especially when it's already popular as a manga. Why you gonna sit there and put a budget in just to have people are like, it looked good. Well, modern technology, yes, you're gonna get delicious backgrounds or colors. Really, they fool people's eyes by putting out bright, poppy, vibrant colors. Right. Shitty design. They don't instead of putting good textures on, they put that moving texture crap. This is like an overlay. So when they're moving across the building texture moves when it shouldn't move. I'm like, and then their powers are the same thing. Like, I'm like, what are you doing? Don't you put texture on his wings? Just leave them like glowy and shit. It's like it was just like, oh, the hair looks stupid. The mouth movements. I'm like, people are like, you just gotta watch the fights. I was like,
I hate.
I said some of the beginning fights were ashy. I'll tell you, the first 2 episodes of Black Clover, ashy, right? Ashy, dog. Ashy.
Some of the beginning fights were ashy.
He said, man, this episode needs cocoa butter, dog.
Oh boy,
they need to be hydrated, man.
That's funny as hell.
Like, you need to get some Vaseline on these episodes, bro.
Dry. And it's so good. I said, don't let those vis effects fool you. This animation is garbage. And the same thing I'll go with. I'm getting mad. The same thing with 7 Deadly Sins. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Manga is pretty good. Okay. It's not it's shonen, so you're gonna get some baloney writing in there. But I like the you know what I'm saying. But I like the characters. You know what I'm saying. But the first season was okay, pretty solid. They go to the second season and then the third season, it was like, what do you got? Did y'all run out of money? Y'all pulled from that 4-string again, and it's looking bad. The fights are bad. Like, people's arms are extra short and legs are extra long. Dog, wings kept flying, their wings weren't moving, dog. It was like gliding on a panel, dog. I was thinking like it was bad. It was so bad. I sat there and said, I said, you know what? I'm gonna continue with the manga and finish it. Because if I keep watching this, my blood pressure's gonna rise, man.
Right.
And I'm on my medicines, man. You know what I'm saying? I can't be doing that. You know what I'm saying?
They got the what's his dude name from Marvel, Rob Liefeld or whatever.
Rob Liefeld. Yeah, it's like it's bad. I'm like, how do you do this to a popular series? I can understand if it was not popular and you just wanted to get out there, but when it's popular, you put the money into it. Otherwise, just wait until you get the money. And then release it, okay? Or just release an OVA. Release an OVA.
Yeah, do OVA or something. Yeah, and that was my thing. Because, like, Sally Davidson's Black Clover. I'm reading Black Clover, too. And like you said, as a writer, it's kind of annoying to read it sometimes. It's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad at all. I actually like it. I like it a lot. I love Sally Davidson's, actually. I loved it to the very end. I liked everything about it. Is a few things. Again, I have a few gripes, but it's not anything that's like major. Black Clover, I like a lot. It's not hit me in like that's different kind of way. The only thing that's really different is Asta's anti-magic. Other than that, it's like
even that's
like what I've read. And that's not even like that. Oh my god, it's like that's not new. But it's
not Railgun, anti-magic.
Right, anti-magic. Yeah, but even Railgun did it differently and did it in an interesting way. But that being said, that's not me railing on Black Clover. Because I actually like Black Clover a lot. Like, and my thing is always this when it comes to writing, and I tell other writers this too. You don't have to make something. Don't focus on making something original or crazy, like different than anybody else. Focus on telling the story you want to tell, because whether it's original or not, or you do the same thing or not, that's not what's going to be important. What's going to be important is how you tell that story.
Yeah, how it's told,
yeah. And so, like with Deadly Different Sins, even though it has a lot of the same cliches that a lot of shonen have, because it's a genre, and when you have a genre, it's going to have cliches, it's going to have tropes that are going to be that not only are going to be followed, some of them are going to be expected. And so, in that sense, I'm okay with it as long as it doesn't, as long as the writing is good, I'm fine with it. And I think for the most part, it was pretty solid, and it was very, like I said, character driven. I liked that a lot about it, and even by the end, I was actually invested, and I was a little bit emotional about some of the characters and whatnot. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, this is it. It touched the right parts for me, so that sounded weird. It hit the right notes for me. Let's say it that way. It touched the right parts. That's not how it works.
Like, all right, show me on this doll where it touched you.
Show me the doll where the manga touched you.
right here.
Like,
the heart.
The heart, right here in the heart. Oh,
cut the camera. Stop rolling.
Also down there. But anyway, so yeah, like that hit the right area for me. Black Clover isn't really hitting like an emotional point to me. The only part that really hit me so far is in the current story is just when I'm gonna mess her name up, Lolo Pechka, the princess.
Oh, yeah, Lolo Pechka, whatever.
Yeah, when she got the way she got kidnapped and Noel tried to save her, and that actually had me like really sad. I'm like, damn, that actually like hit the heartstrings. I was like, man, that messed me up, and I'm like, I'm waiting for that like revenge, so they can get her back, and like I'm hyped for that. But other than that, like the rest of it was kind of like, okay, this is interesting. But yeah, like when you see it animated, a lot of the time it just doesn't live up, and it's partly budget, I know, and I want to say this too, is like I am not shitting on the animators, because I know that they have little control over what kind of time frame, what kind of budget they have. So it's mainly the studios that don't give them the time or the budget or the resources to make something that will animate it, or that don't reach out to the studios that can do it better.
That's it. I love it. That's it.
Yeah, they reach out to like they go to like really small studios and like force them to like make these shows in like record time, and it's like, yeah, it's gonna be terrible. Like Berserk when it came back.
Well, here, okay. Berserk for me, okay.
Keep in mind, I've not watched Berserk. I've just seen what's been said about it, and I'm like, that looks bad.
I'm a Berserk fan, and always have been. Now, when it came back, I think the major issue that everybody had, and which left a bad taste in people's mouths, was the format they brought it back in. Okay, which is they decided to go 3D, and that's when people saw it, heard about it being 3D. They're like, no. And when they saw it 3D, they're like, oh my god, why are you keeping it? You know what I'm saying? And
I don't know. Some of the clips I saw was pretty bad.
now, don't get twisted. Like when you watch the first one, like the opening's great, man. The way they handled the stuff in the OP, the music, the vibe, it was like yes, yeah, solid. Then he get to a lot of it in the first season of his comeback, his return. It was like really choppy 3D animation. Now, again, like you said, you can't really blame the animators studios, but sometimes like the studios that they choose are very new.
Right.
And a lot of animators may not be very seasoned, so they are very new animators. And so you're getting guys who are not like very prevalent in 3D animating. Like you see some like some of the ones on Netflix. Okay, they have some shows on there that great, like Dragon's Dogma was done great in my opinion as a 3D anime. Now, mind you, this was years ago when season 1 New Berserk came out. What was it, like 2013 or something like that? 14?
Oh, it was a long time ago. No, was it a long? I thought like 2015. It probably was older than that. My sense of time is messed up now.
Maybe 15. Well, actually, no. The second season, which was animated much better. I want to say, like it ended maybe 3 years ago. So it may be about 2000. The first one came out. It wasn't like too far, but still, like you could tell that it was because for one, the studio was new. I was working on it. No one ever heard of it. It was very small, and So I kind of researched on it. I was like, I never heard of these guys. Oh, they don't have many projects. And so you're going to get choppy animation. Right. But, I was like, okay, it's kind of just watch to make sure the story kind of follows everything. Okay, it's looking pretty good. Ending credits were great. And there's times where they had some glimmering hope. And then season 2 came up and the animation got better. Okay. Which I figured. And then they start implementing the 2.5D stuff. So some scenes look 2D and then they go back to 3D. So they transition sometimes. And sometimes that was kind of nice. And I'm like, why do you just keep it to 2.5D? Right. But it became much better. And I was like, okay, now it's getting better. It's still not where it should be, but they have the money and the staff. They can make a 3D Berserk legit. You know what I'm saying? Because I think one of the OVAs was in 3D, and people didn't crap on that. One of the OVAs they released, one of the movies. I want to say it was the third Berserk movie. Mm-hmm. It was done in 3D, and no one really complained about that. But it was just the new one. It was just like AI level graduates. You know what I'm saying? I'm serious. I'm dead serious. It's like AI
for those that before anybody says anything, we are all AI graduates, so we know.
Yeah, it's like they're not bad, but you can tell it's like, okay, the ones who could rig. You know what I'm saying? You're like, okay, models aren't the best. I can see some choppy. It's not smooth. There's a lot of issues with the frame rate. But it's not bad. It's like one of the good ones that graduate. You know what I'm saying? But
right.
It's not like they didn't feel very seasoned.
There was no pepper on the animation.
Yeah, like
ain't got enough seasoning on that steak, boy.
Put some salt on that. Put a Lowry's.
Lowry's. Like I said, like there's some 3D ones on Netflix that are pretty good. One, like for instance, I like Assure's Wrath. A lot of people kind of gripe about it. It's like it got a mixed bag of emotions or opinions on it.
Wait, that's got anime?
Not sure. Not sure.
I was about to say Assure's Wrath. They got anime.
I must say, they got anime for that.
I know the game was kind of like an anime.
No, not Assure's Wrath. What is it? King and Ashura. I'm tripping. King and Ashura. Is it's completely 3D. It's a shonen, all fighting, but the fight scenes are really pretty good, man, for what they got. You know what I'm saying? And they do grappling and everything else. And it's like, okay, not too shabby. You know what I'm saying? And they work with that kind of cel-shaded vibe. Yeah. So, and there's another one. Hold on, I say boxing, anime, Netflix. And I like it. I want another season of it. Where is it at?
Well, actually, I thought about it. We got way off the. I never did.
Yeah, we did. All right, real quick. Okay. All right, I was mentioning this. We'll go back. Levius. Levius is another one that I liked.
Say the name again.
That was 3.
Levius. Okay.
Like if you watch Megalobox, to me, I think Levius handles what Megalobox was, but better. Okay. A little bit better. Because with Megalobox, it was like of course, it was an ode to Ashita Nojo, but even though Ashita Nojo, he got beat up. Kind of Megalobox kind of was empty for me because he constantly kept getting beat up, constantly. I'm like, dog, he's like fighting with no gear. He's fighting geared guys, like right. And but Levius is like people. It's almost the same kind of vibe. Like people go in and they get like alterations, something like that. It's very in the future, but it's pretty cool. I say watch it. If you like boxing, stuff like that. Yeah, Levius is pretty cool to me. Okay. But anyway.
I'll make my quiz. You guys got to tell me what you watched too. But watching Red and all that stuff too. So a couple more things. I'm reading Fairy Tale translated. You can find it if you can find it. I'm not going to tell you where. But yeah, I'm reading the 100-Year Quest. That's been going all right so far. If you didn't like Fairy Tale before, you're not gonna like it now. It's the same. It's just it's got the power of friendship. I don't mind it because I know it's a trope in shonen and I'm used to it. And the fact that the Fairy Tale makes it very clear early on and throughout the series that power of friendship is going to be the savior of the day, and their magic mostly works on emotion anyway, so it makes sense. And I'm like, that's cool. And I like a lot of for me, a lot of what makes Fairy Tale work and what I like about it is the characters. So that's why I still follow it and I really enjoy it. But I like it in 100-Year Quest. 100-Year Quest reminds me of like what Fairy Tail started out as before the end game war that happened. So I'm enjoying that a lot. And then by the same author, whose name escapes me right now, so I feel very bad about that. It's Hero something. I forget his last name. I am so sorry. I have to look that up. But he also does this story called Eden Zero. Now, if you're not familiar with his work, one thing he likes to do is that in every one of his series, all his characters look similar. So if you've been reading his work since Rave, they all just cross over. So all his characters in Eden Zero, like in Eden Zero, it's very clear he's doing like a whole parallel universe thing because a lot of the characters not only look the same, they have the same names. Like the main character, Shiki, is literally Gray and Natsu had a child. Like that's what he looks like. Urza shows up as Elsie, this pirate that is like insanely powerful. Rebecca might as well be Lucy, except a little bit more confident. And she had like time traveling powers. But to that point, Eden Zero, if you didn't like Fairy Tail because of the power of friendship, Eden Zero, while it does have some of that, it gets very dark and very violent. And the most recent chapter was like, wow, I didn't think they would go there. It involves torturing a child, and I was like, they're not going to actually do that, right? That's not what actually happened. It's what happened to a certain character, and I'm like, okay, but I forgot, and I was reminded of myself when I was reading that this author, Rave is very dark and like depressing. From what I remember, I haven't read Rave in like a long time, but I remember it being like pretty dark at points. And that's the whole reason he even made. I think in one of the interviews a long time ago, I said that's why he started doing Fairy Tail, because he wanted to like get away from that and do something that was lighthearted to like just kind of cleanse himself. Basically, like Rave was too much. He's like, I gotta do something lighthearted and everybody survives. That's why everybody lives throughout Fairy Tail and nobody barely dies. It's like, I can't do that again. But clearly, he changed his mind again, because Eden Zero, if you get a chance to check it out, it's pretty. It's very
original work.
Huh?
He probably heard about people criticizing his Fairy Tail work, and he was like, "Well,
he's like,
it's time to get my dark shit back on now."
Right?
Since everybody wanted to be depressed.
So I'm looking through that, and then once it's actually available in English to buy, I'm going to be buying it as well. I'm pretty sure it'll get translated. I just don't know where we're at right now. I'm reading on translation sites, and I don't like to link those out because they can be very dangerous to go to. So I'm not gonna do that to y'all. But yeah, I'm still reading those, and I think that's about it for me. Yeah, that's it for me. Like I said, I had a bunch. I finished some other shows I was watching too, but I can't recall right now. They weren't important enough, so I'm not gonna try and dredge them up now. So yeah, that was mine. I took most of the podcast. Anybody want to go next?
Go ahead, Karnajj.
Well, really, the only thing I've really started watching, I finally got to start watching Jujutsu Kaisen.
Ooh, yeah, I gotta catch it.
Yes.
I think I'll start watching that too.
If you have not started watching it, man, just from not having to watch an anime in a long time, I was hooked.
It's like I've already watching the manga. I'm reading the manga, and I was like, okay, but I'm like in the middle of it, so I have no idea what's happening. I'm like, this character is okay. I'm sure it looks cool. So
it's pretty dope, bro. It's pretty dope. I would definitely watch it. I think I'm only 12 episodes in because I was watching the dub version, which wasn't bad to me. I'm at that point in life where I'm lazy and I don't want to read subtitles sometimes. So I start watching the dub version. So it only went to this, like, episode 13 just dropped. I have yet to watch it yet. I'm watching off Crunchyroll though. So
gotcha.
But I had just watched it, but probably my favorite character already in the damn thing. His came out in like episode 9. Dude, dope. It's like it's this guy. Yes, the real matter of factly.
Yeah, he is calculation for his ability.
Yeah, he is dope, bro. I was like, man, like he got this. Well, I ain't gonna spoil it unless you don't like spoil.
I'll read it for me for spoilers. Like, unless if it's a specific show that like something like WandaVision or something like that's got like a specific twist to it, then don't spoil me on that. But anything like anything else, like even if I hadn't watched Mandalorian yet, but you guys had, I wouldn't care. Like, okay, just you can talk about it. I'm not worried about it. I'm still gonna watch it.
No, okay.
But yeah, something like WandaVision is like specifically tailored around like you need to see the show as it happens, which is why I don't want to talk about it until everybody's seen it. So, but yes,
nice. I understand. Yep. Yeah. So the dude, he got like this ability to where he can calculate points on his opponent's body, and every point he can calculate. Okay, if I slice here, I could split this person in this many pieces or whatever, and he does this all with like a freaking blunt, like axe type weapon. And he's just like real calculated to where he said, even if I have a blunt weapon, I can split you in two.
Yeah, he has a hatchet. He carries a hatchet.
Yeah, it's like a hatchet.
They use a stick or something.
It's like all covered up. He's dope as fuck. Yes, he is dope as hell. Man, it just got me hooked just to be back in and watching an anime after not watching one in like forever, other than Dragon Ball Super. But yeah, bro, I really highly recommend that. It's really a good anime. But other than that, I haven't been watching. I kind of want to start watching other things I've been looking at on Crunchyroll. I might just start actually just seeing some other stuff that's out there. But yeah, that's what I was on for a while. And now I got to watch my 13th episode and get some more engaged into it. But other than that, I've been
Scooby Doo.
Other than that, I've been monster hunting still.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that for this podcast. So that hasn't stopped. I just on Monster Hunter got to like master rank 100. So nice.
Yeah,
I'm still in high rank story quest. So.
Like even right now, I'm fighting Safi Jiva.
I ain't got that far yet. You know what I'm gonna say before I forget, because I forgot it is the one thing. If you follow my Twitter, you've seen me say it. But in case you haven't, I'm about to eat the microphone.
He's not about to eat the microphone.
Basil Geese, that monster can go to hell. I'm so tired of it. Like I said, we were talking about before. Like I said, all I'm fighting whatever I'm fighting. I get it knocked down. I'm all geeked. I'm like, yeah, Andrew Nash is about to be a rap. Oh, look at the KO. I'm about to go and get my free hits. All years. I'm like, please no. And he just comes in out of nowhere, squeezing into like the smallest passages, flying over, dropping bomb. I'm like, you know what? All right. And so today I was like, you know what? You interfered for the last time. I'm gonna kill you. That didn't work out.
He said no.
First of all, it took the entire 40 minutes of this because it wasn't the quest for him specifically. So I was trying to kill him and then like finish the quest. It took the whole 40 minutes. He didn't die. And on top of that, like once I actually got close to killing him, I could tell he was getting close to dying. Yeah, he just three times in a row just straight up just one shot at me. I'm like, really? All right. Okay. So now I'm like on a mission now to get better armor. Because I am kind of, my armor is just a Puke high rank armor. It's not great. And so I'm on a mission now to just get better armor so I can like catch up defense wise. My defense kind of shit. I'm mad the Gyro's armor is so garbage in high rank. I'm upset about that because I love the way it looked and it served me well in low rank. And I'm like, yo, when I get to high rank, I'm going to make the high rank version of this armor. Man, that armor worse than the Puke armor. I'm like, you serious? Why? So yeah, I'm gonna have to farm Legiana or Odogaron and get their armor. Probably the Odogaron because I love Odogaron's armor, so I'm gonna farm that Joker. I was mad as soon as I fought Odogaron earlier. I threw my controller. I was so mad. And
yeah, he's an asshole too.
Not even because it's just I was beating his ass. I was getting in his ass, and he left the locale in 5 minutes. He straight up, he like, you know what? Nope, I'm out of here. I'm like, you son of a bitch. Like, literally 5 minutes of the quest, it was like, Odogaron can leave the locale. So I'm like, are you serious? And before I could even like find him again, he was out. I'm like, you know what? And he got replaced by Basil Geese. I'm like, abandon the quest.
Basil's is like, here I am, your car. I said you wanted me. Well, here it is.
I'll take his turn. I'll take his place. Like, all right. But yeah.
Oh boy.
Good old Monster Hunter, man. And it's annoying too. Like, I know that I'm just working my way up through this game right now, but in the meantime, I go to Generations Ultimate and I'm like, way past in game on that game. I'm just doing extra quests and shit, and I'm like, I want my power back, dog. I'm like, I'm better than this. I want my. Anyway, not in world, sucker. You ain't that much better. Not in world. And I'm really just buying time until Rise comes out. So I'm just anxious on that. So we'll see how that goes.
When does Rise come out? March
26th. So basically about 34 days from now. 35 days, if my math is right.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's not that long. Yeah, not that long. It's around the corner. It's right around the corner, It's right there. You're looking at it. Like, it's a week after my birthday, so I'm going to be very happy about that. So,
off days.
Right? I'm already, like, in my mind, I'm planning my off days around it. Now, granted, I have already, my last day of my job is going to be April 30th, so I got to be careful how I do my PTO, but I'm planning to, take, some time there to, just to around my birthday, get some time off and take a little break. I need a break now, but I'm just trying to be patient. But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing that game. I'm at least the day of release, I'm gonna be like, yep. Listen, if you're looking for me, I don't exist right now. Be on that game. I will be streaming it though. I'll be streaming it the entire time when I play it. So, but yeah, sorry, yeah, my son. Yep.
Yep, but that was pretty much been it for me.
Cool. X.
Excellent. Well, I haven't been watching much. ReZero's current season. Let's see. I don't think about anime wise.
I thought about watching ReZero actually. That's interesting.
I watched a little bit of Higurashi. I need to finish it. The reboot of Higurashi.
Right.
What's it called? Still need to catch up on Inuyasha.
Sequel?
Hime. Yeah, the Hime, Yashahime.
How is that? I've been wanting. It looks like it's up my alley because number one, it's got female protagonists, so that's already okay.
Yeah, it's already there. It's like,
all right, yep.
It's definitely Inuyasha vibes. You know what I'm saying? They ain't straight away from the formula. It's just they're just going with Shomaru's daughters and.
I said I would be right back.
No, yeah. Ain't time for you to leave, man. You can get permission. Anyway, but it's pretty much Inuyasha just involving Shomaru's daughters and Inuyasha's daughter, and so they play it with a little bit of time travel and things like that. But for the most part, it's very you find demons, slay them. They're trying to figure out some things. So far it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Is it mind blowing? Not really, but it's not bad because it's if you like Inuyasha, you'll like Yashahime.
Okay.
So I think they did well, especially with the female protagonist, being that they're all half demon.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? They're all half demon, but they have unique abilities because of their half demon genealogy and how they were raised. Because I forget the main character. She was raised in modern times because of something that happened with I'm not explaining, but she's raised in modern times, and then eventually finds her way back into the feudal era, where she ends up meeting her sister again.
Gotcha.
And Inuyasha's daughter, which is she's pretty much like a more spunkier Inuyasha.
Gotcha.
Definitely bounty hunter type. I'm gonna collect things and this is how I make money. So it makes you wonder, where is Inuyasha and Kagome? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they haven't explained it where I was at last left off, because it's just her moving around. I forget what her name is. But she's walking around. It's pretty much doing bounty hunter thing. Killing demons, things like that. She's kind of like Inuyasha with the hat, but she's dark haired versus white haired. So it's a little different.
Right.
Because Inuyasha, when the blood moon, whenever the moon comes up, he goes black haired.
Right.
But I don't think she's affected by the moon. Shomaru's daughters are, but she's not. And it could be because she's pretty much a third demon.
Right, she's a 1/3 demon. Yeah.
Yeah, she's 1/3
demon rather.
Yeah, 1/4, because she gets chopped up a little bit more because Inuyasha was half. Yeah, Kagome was full human.
Right.
But yeah, she has her own sword, which makes you think who forged that sword for her. You saying? But what's his name? The Flea. What's his name?
I know you're talking about. I forgot his name. It's been so long since I watched.
Yeah, Lord Shamaru. Lord Inuyasha.
Lord Inuyasha.
Hey, Lord Inuyasha.
Have a penchant for these crystals. Yeah, I know you're talking about that guy.
Yeah, he always likes to drink the blood. He's like, yummy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, what are you doing? And it's like all of a sudden, Miyoga. That's his name.
Miyoga. Okay,
yeah. I kept thinking Jockin, but that's Shomaru's goon.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. Yes, yeah.
Miyoga. So Miyoga's involved. Miyoga comes in a little bit later. You say so. You know, like she was like, "Where you been at?" He's like, "I've always been here, Lord." You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
We have your daughter name. Yeah. So it's kind of funny. You're saying to have him still in there, which is good. I like that. Some of the other characters still in there. Moroku. You know, Kilala and oh god, I forgot her name.
Sango.
Sango, yeah. Sango really doesn't do much. She's a pretty much stay-at-home mom.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, because like her brother pretty much does everything now.
Oh,
you know,
right. Kahaku, yeah.
Kahaku, yeah. So Kahaku's pretty much the leader of the demon hunters right now.
Gotcha.
Which is pretty cool. And Shishomaru's daughter, the dark-haired one, pretty much. I think it's Setsuna. She's the one that, Setsuna. She's she pretty much works for the Demon Corps too, the anti-Demon Corps.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, Moroha, that's her name. That's Inuyasha's daughter name. Moroha.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think I remember that. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Setsuna. God, what's the other sister's name? My brain is like.
It's all good. Yes, it's interesting. I should probably check it out and give it a look.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. If you like Inuyasha, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the way to go. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
it's good. It doesn't feel off kilter or anything else. It just feels like it flows naturally. You know
my only concern is that Rumiko Takahashi, the writer, she tends to write stories that take either forever to end and run the same loop for like
it's gonna be like that. It's probably gonna be like that.
That's probably gonna be so I might have to get myself prepared for that. Even Rama Half, even though Rama Half is a comedy, it ran the same comedy loop for the longest time. That was my only real slight against it. And the same thing with Inuyasha's I love Inuyasha, but goddamn if they didn't run the Naraku plot line into the ground and just continue to do that every single season, every single arc. And I'm like, okay, I get it. You found Naraku, he beat you, you got to find him again. And I'm like, okay.
But yeah, like right now it's like that. It's a lot of journey. It's interesting that they threw in these rainbow crystals, these rainbow pearls, which is like the pretty much like almost like the new Shikan jewels. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shikan jewels.
And so, Shikan jewel. Get all the shards, you become God mode. You say make the one big orb. Yeah, it's kind of like that, but like little mini Shikan orbs. You know what I'm saying? And they all have different properties, but like demons kind of want it. You're saying obviously to make them stronger,
right?
And Toa and Setsuna both were born with one in their eye, which is something that you gotta like think about, like why. You're saying?
Oh,
so they still haven't explained it. Mm-hmm. They're saying, so I'm, looking forward to them unraveling things.
Right.
Do I think it's gonna be like as long as classic Inuyasha? Probably not.
That's a good thing. I don't need to be that long.
But they might milk it because search for
pretty popular.
You still got Shishomaru and young girl Rin. You still got Shishomaru Rin. To kind of clear up things. You got Inuyasha Gugome, where the hell they are. You know what I'm saying? Where are they at? They're still in the feudal era, but where are they at? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And, you got the three sisters trying to figure out stuff and get Setsuna's dreams or ability to dream back. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a big spoiler, if you don't mind me saying. But Setsuna hasn't been able to sleep since her and her sister split. And when they were like 5, so she hasn't been able to sleep since then, and they're 14 now.
Okay.
And so Toa's trying to figure out now. She realizes that, and is like, okay, I want to see about getting my sister's ability to sleep back, like dream and stuff back, because she her sister can't sleep. And so she's up like 24/7. Yes, it's something that happened with, it's kind of unique. So I'm like, because she's always like kind of grumpy and mad. And she's like, go to sleep. She's like, I can't sleep. And at first, Setsuna didn't remember Toa. Okay.
Gotcha.
So when they split, Toa didn't have memories at first either because they're young. Right. But then as she got older, she's like, I know I have a sister somewhere, you know what I'm saying? Because she was raised in Kagome's family. And she's like, I got to have a sister somewhere. And he's like, I knew it, Her memories flushed back, but Setsuna can't remember. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, it wasn't like a dream eater took her memories, some butterfly thing. I don't know. But I'll let you watch it.
Yeah.
It's solid. It's got a little bit more to it than what I thought it would have.
Okay.
But outside of anime, like, I got a lot to catch up. There's so much to watch. And then me now having, like, every streaming platform as my cable. You know what I'm saying? Like Crunchyroll or Funimation to the Hulu, Netflix, Disney Plus.
Yep, that's me too. That's what
my parents took me up with HBO Max. Oh, so I'm like,
HBO Max.
I got the whole, So with that being said, HBO Max, I finished Lovecraft Country recently. So,
okay.
I wanted to watch it, but of course I didn't have cable. And then my parents were like, we just got HBO Max. I was like, hook a brother up.
We'll still password. Go ahead and pass it this way.
Like, I was like, so I watched that. And that's an interesting take to a horror style magic based show. You know what I'm saying?
What is that show about? I feel like I know because I've heard the name, but I'm blanking on it.
It's like you have a guy who's like into like these writings and books, and he had these premonitions of things happening, but he wasn't sure if like they were real or not. And on a trip, they encounter magic, pretty much. And this is 1950s, mind you. Okay. And so like it's like racism and everything else like that.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. And so he figured something happens where he gets taken in by this cult, and they learn that he's the son of this like really, really famous magic user, black guy from a while back, and he's like the only remnant left of the family. And so they try to extort his blood and use it for their magic, because at the time, the non-melanated peoples are they're the only ones right now who show they have the ability to use magic.
Okay.
And yeah, black people they don't know of it really or any of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, but they're trying to uncover this stuff, and then they figure out what's going on. And they're trying to pretty much he's trying to like dwell more into his family, and then find a way to stop these magic users and things like that. It's kind of neat. The first few episodes are kind of like, whoa, what's going on? Because everything is thrown at you in different directions. Right. Until about episode 3, then it starts to kind of come together, and you're like, oh, okay. Now it's making a little bit more sense. But it's kind of neat, though. You know what I'm saying? Like time, they utilize time travel, disguise magic and stuff like that. Like this black chick takes this potion that turns into a white woman. And turns into a white woman. She didn't realize it until one day. She didn't. And she's like, "What the heck is going on?" I was confused. I'm like, and all of a sudden, it showed the white woman wake up. Oh, what's going on? Of course, nude. And she's like, she's confused, right? She looks at herself and says, "Oh my god!" And so, the guy who owned this like little mansion kind of thing told her what happened, and so she goes and applies for this job that she got turned down for at his like Bloomingdale's time place. Obviously they don't have colored women work at those type of places. Right. And she walks in and she's, gives the same kind of interview, same credentials. And he's like, well, hey man, he's like, you're just applying for a desk clerk? She's like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. He's like, your credentials, geez, you probably can like run this place. He's like, geez, how about assistant manager? She's like, what the? So yeah, can you start soon? She's like, oh snap! So she worked. What I'm saying? It's like things like that, right? And it's kind of unique because she goes through. It's like she doesn't like the idea of it, but then she kind of likes the idea of it. And then she sees like how like when this black girl gets hired, young black girl attractive, and ask her all these questions. The black girl was like, I've never had any form of training, yada, yada, yada. So you're like, oh, man, maybe he's sleeping with the girl. And that's how she got the job.
Right.
Because she was the only black girl at the little Bloomingdale's type place. So it's unique, man. It's something different. I think for having a majority black cast and, a black-led cast, I think it was nice for them to tread into that type of genre because you don't get it with black-led shows. Yeah, right. You'll say black-led shows. So that's what I appreciate the most. Like, finally, for Christ's sakes, it's not in the hood. It's not like,
oh man,
it's like it has to do with athletes or sports or drugs. It's like, sure, yes, it's a typical trope again of the racist white America. We get it. Okay. Eventually, I hope we not to say move from it, but do something where it's like more regular. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like how you have like your Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Okay, something like that with like black-led characters. You know what I'm saying? Like modern day. Just normal life. It doesn't have to do with racism. It doesn't have to do with hood. It doesn't have to do with struggles. Just regular, regular life.
You are speaking. I've been on that train, especially on Twitter. I've said that so many times, and that's what I aim to write when I write my work and do my characters and stuff. Not to turn this into self-promotion, but it's just and that's part of the reason. Okay, this is gonna get kind of. I'll just go into it. That's part of the reason this podcast was something I want to do too, is because so much of like black folks we get so pigeonholed into what we have to be and we have to look like and have to sound like and have to act like and have to enjoy. And a lot of studios, Hollywood, etc. It's getting better now, but it's taken until 2021 before it gets to the point we can actually have a story that's not centered around like black pain. You know what I mean? And even then, it's still some in there, but it's like it's not the central focus. It's not, hey, let's go tell another story that happens in the hood. I saw another. This is not to hate on the show at all because I've not seen the show, so I don't know it. And it's not like I don't like shows at all that deal with stuff that goes on in the hood, stuff that goes on in our neighborhoods, or black culture and stuff like that. But it's another show that deals with like another black kid becoming a drug dealer or becoming a kingpin or whatever. It's like, man. I just want to see a show where, like, I just want to see a show where, like, a black man, a character with brown skin is able to slay dragons or, like, fly spaceships or, speed racer but with black characters. It'd be nice if we could get that because all growing up, especially, like, if anybody listening to this right now that is not over the age of 25, this probably seems foreign to you, but anybody over the age of 30 that's black and grew up watching TV as a kid, your only extensions outside of like the common black tropes is probably like watching the Cosby Show and Family Matters. Everything else that was black on TV, everything else was like straight up just the same thing. You couldn't, and even going to school, like you couldn't really be into like a lot of the nerdy stuff and whatnot because it was looked down upon. It was like it wasn't quote unquote for you, and so it's been frustrating. As an adult, even still seeing that like be a thing, it's like, man, I want to see more stuff where there's like black characters in lead roles. Like that's why Black Panther was such a big deal, and black folks freaked out.
One more time, y'all.
Huh?
I'll be back one more time.
Oh yeah, for sure. Sure. But that's why it's such a big deal, man, because like we don't get that enough, and so when I see something like this, like the show you're talking about. That comes up, and it may. And that's not saying it can't deal with racism at all, because obviously, if you're in that time period,
that's black pain. It's because of black pain. It's just it's the approach they take with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like, they still battle it. They still fight, in a positive way. You see all the negative, but like you still see things like you never see. Like it don't have like this episode 8. To me, episode 8 had a Jordan Peele type of appeal to it. Like he wrote that or something like that. Like weird, unique. That's what I like about Jordan Peele's approach to his horror films because they were different. You know what I'm saying? It was it still has the black centered things, the black pain, blah blah blah. A little bit increments of it, but it wasn't like heavily pressed on that. You know what I'm saying? It was like what's the one where with the black when they meet the doppelgangers? I can't remember what it's called. Us, yeah. Us definitely shows still that kind of vibe of like, kind of some like, racial aspects to it. Like, okay, kind of like some jigaboo kind of vibe. But at the same time, it's like the main guy was like kind of corny. M'Baku was talking corny and white like. All right, I didn't like that, but at the same time, I was like, okay, it's something different. He's like, all right, you ready for peanut butter and jelly sandwiches? Yeah. It's like, well, we're going to go to the beach and have a great time. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? But with Lovecraft Country, it was like, okay, they played a lot of things on like magic and the girl, one of the little girls, she dreamed, I guess, to be a comic book writer or artist, and she drew these covers with like a black girl. That's where they had that. I remember Alpha Richardson or Robinson.
Yeah, I think it's Robinson.
Robinson. She mentioned a while back when it came out how she had some part in it, or someone referenced her, in the dialogue they referenced her, and I finally came across the episode. It was like somehow like the mother that came back from this magic journey thing, and she's like something about blah 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 Alpha or Robinson. I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. So I was like, did she draw those covers? You know what I'm saying that the girls she drew, of like the black space girl with blue hair that's like doing like the Captain Kirk fighting aliens kind of thing, the old school like Flash Gordon stuff.
Man. Oh man, see,
and so I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah.
I wish they dwelled into it, but the mother comes across as an ability to kind of emulate this. You know what I'm saying? And you watch it, you'll see it. I'm like, that's kind of neat, man. The mom really like paid attention to this kind of stuff. What her daughter was into,
Yeah.
And and even they had this, like when she went to this realm, it's like 70s style, 80s style robot with this fro. It was kind of a nice hit, like that George Clinton stuff. You know what I'm saying? I was like, that's kind of cool, man. It's like what is your name? And like, where are you from? And it's like, and she's like long body and curvy, but like metallic. It was kind of neat, man. I was like, okay, I can appreciate stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, awesome. So there's a lot of things about it that I like, and I'm like, this is a start of a good direction,
right?
You know what I'm saying? And hopefully it leads to like I want to see more modern shows where it's okay to have a minority led character, and that they need to be more comfortable with that, right. And be okay with like if it's a Hispanic lead, Asian lead, even a black lead, okay, and instead of like them being main but sides, make them leads.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then maybe like focus around them a little bit and living a typical normal life that has some things that might hit on black pain a little bit. We all go through it, it's not something we can eliminate.
Right.
But not make it the centralized focus.
Right. And that's the thing, like you can touch on it, but like just making it like the focus. A lot of times they turn that into the character themselves. Like this character revolves around this aspect of the black history or black pain, I should say. And it's like it's not that we don't live it. It's just that as a black person, when I watch stuff, it's escapism. I don't want to have that reflected again back and see that again unless I purposely seek it out. But a lot of the time, for some reason, Hollywood has this idea that celebrating black pain is the thing to do at all times, and there's no other in between. Either you got a hood movie or you just don't get a movie.
Another reason why is because it's been pushed, in my opinion, it's been pushed so much in our community that it's like almost expected to see that. There's definitely part of. So Hollywood knows that's what black people go to pay for.
It's kind of a catch-22. It's kind of a catch-22 because it's like it's what a lot of folks tend to expect from our community because that's what's shown in Hollywood. Because that's what's shown in Hollywood, that's what people expect in our community. And that's why I get so frustrated because like if they would have showed different stuff, then it would. And this goes back to the whole thing like why representation is so important. Because if you see yourself, whatever you see yourself reflected in, that's going to be the ideal that you grow up with. If I had a Black Panther back when I was in my early, childhood to teenage years, if I had a movie like that back then, I'd have been through it'd have been like such an inspiration, and it would give me a lot more hope, and it would take me as long to get to where I am now as far as like, fiction involving like black characters. But
like when I grew up, like I like with comic books and cards and collectibles, I purposely sought out black characters. And that's why I chose Marvel or DC because Marvel had more. And and like your Bishops, your Black Panthers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I wanted more from Black Panther because Black Panther, for the most part, was always stuck in Africa. And, and I always wanted him to kind of to expand out more. You know what I'm saying? Luke Cage is always still in the hood. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But they had a lot more to kind of choose from. Right. And then I always would pick characters I felt were like black enough. Gambit, Wolverine felt black to me in a sense. Mainly maybe because of the aggression, but also his pain. You know what I'm saying? He always went through. So I always attached myself to characters that kind of would be represented with that, or look like dang, man. For a long time, I used to always defend Bishop, man. I'm like, man, Bishop this, Bishop's weak. I'm like, no, because we didn't have many characters, man.
Right, that's the only one we had. Right, you only had like 2 or 3. So like they call him weak. Like, man, I only got one left. Like,
yeah. I didn't like DC's blacks because they were just kind of Black Lightning and all those guys. They just didn't get enough hype for me. It was like they're like super like in the background. You know what I'm saying? Like
they were like main characters, central characters that they didn't. At least they didn't make them feel important. I didn't really know of DC having like a really important black character, and I'm sure somebody listening to this will point it out and tell me I'm wrong, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. I didn't really know of DC having like a prominent black character until Jon Stewart's run as Green Lantern, and that was animated show. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, but like other than that, like I'm sure they had some. It just wasn't nearly as.
They had a few characters, but they weren't
prominent. They were like main characters. Yeah. And even with Marvel, like the ones we mentioned, like Bishop and Black Panther, like you can name them on one hand. Storm.
Yeah, you could. Storm, like Luke Cage.
Like there's still it's still room to grow there, and that's just black characters. It's not even like considering other ethnicities, and like it's getting better now, and that's why like a lot of the time too with comics and stuff when they introduce a lot of characters like with different backgrounds and stuff, I'm all for it because I'm like, we need more diversity in a lot of stuff, man. It's people need to see themselves represented in the media they follow, because like for the longest time it's just been straight white dudes. It's like, all right, well, that's like, you know what I mean? Like, that's all it's been. Like when I grew up, that's all it was to watch. And I'm not saying that was the worst thing in the world, because like some people didn't even get that, didn't have that to watch. But it just sucks that you don't see yourself. You can't see. You're not allowed to see yourself as a hero. See yourself as a explorer. See yourself as a dragon slayer. See yourself as without being some kind of caricature or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's good. I'm glad to see it happening more, and I'm hoping to be a part of that too with like the stuff I'm creating.
That's how I was as a kid, man. I used to be like, man, where are the black characters in like Dungeons and Dragons,
right?
And I play like Golden Axe. I'm like, where's the black guy?
You know, man, get me started with video games. I'm
man. I'm like, man, like they gotta have somebody in here that's not white,
right, dude?
And I'm like, bro, I'm going around like
even like Street Fighter, the only character you would get for the longest time was fucking Balrog.
Balrog,
like he is,
and he was a straight stereotype,
super stereotype.
Oh man,
like you couldn't get more stereotype. And I'm not. They've done better by him over the years, but especially back then, like 4 or 5.
Oh man,
damn, he was the only black person, and the only thing he cared about was my fight money.
Bad teeth. All about money, you know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be like model of the Mike Tyson, but Mike Tyson wasn't even like that.
Yeah, no, Mike Tyson not even like that. Like it was such a super huge, like people point out obviously because his name was supposed to be M. Bison was a play on Mike Tyson or whatever in Japan, and so when they brought over here, they didn't want to get sued, so they changed the Balrog and switched names around. Cool, whatever. It was clearly supposed to be Mike Tyson. We all knew that. I think everybody that saw it, including Mike Tyson, knew it was probably a riff on him.
Yeah, he knew it. But he had the whole gear, short shorts and shredded shirt.
Right. And the thing was, like, when you looked at his character and how he acted and like how he was designed, he ain't like Mike Tyson. Like even Tyson was. I'm like, man, it just you didn't.
Yeah, he was like, where's the money? Where's the women? Where's the booze?
Like it's not Tyson. That is not how he is.
I mean, but that's a common trope in classic Japanese anime, anyways. Yeah, black guys are always portrayed as that.
Yep.
Yeah, I watched one. It's old like thug Japanese anime about these thugs and yakuza type thugs. Yeah. Like not the classy suit tie ones, but the classy ones with the little caps and the jackets.
Oh,
and they went to this bar and they came across this like these military soldiers, and there's one big huge black guy, and I guess they're off their duty, whatever, and he's sitting with a Japanese girl, and they're like, oh, look at that black guy with Japanese girl, and then the black guy's talking crap and like acting piggish and sloppy and where's the money and all this stuff.
Of course.
Goes to Japanese guys, little small Japanese. They need big black guys with money and cash. And I'm like, oh, here we go.
Right.
I was like, here we go, man. I was like, here we go. Here we go. It can't be like this all the time.
Dude, it's so
like, who doesn't like money and cash and stuff like that? It's like they made it blacks like, in a sense, we kind of do it to ourselves too. Which I want all this back. With hip hop culture and urban culture, we push that so much because of material possessions and not having things.
Right, and that's the thing that, and I think that's what people realize now is that stuff that gets pushed is what people will see overseas, and that might be their first interaction with somebody from America, especially a black person. That's all they think it's about. That's not to excuse it, by the way, because you can easily do like 2 minutes of research and figure out that there's more than black people than that. But that is part of the issue. And it just gets frustrating because you see it all the time, and it's taking forever for that to change even slightly. I cannot remember who said it recently. There was an artist or a designer or maybe been a producer on Cowboy Bebop that talked about how he intentionally made sure that he wanted to represent like dark-skinned people or black people correctly, and he wanted to put more representation into anime in general. And I think that's a really good sign. That's from even in Cowboy Bebop, you can tell like the black characters that were in that show were stereotypical. They were designed well.
You had some stereotypes. Mushroom Samba, but that was like a play on like 70s though.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it was intentionally on play on the 70s, so that makes sense for like what they were showing.
That makes sense. Like it's like supposed to be like a play on blaxploitation.
Right, and it wasn't like it wasn't disrespectful, basically.
No, it wasn't.
You can tell it was like done with some respect, and so I hope that's the thing going forward, because I've seen plenty of anime over the years where I'm just like, dude, all right, man,
slap your face, you're like,
right. I'm just like, I gotta ignore this character right now because this character's ruined this entire show, but I'm just gonna go just look past it because it's so annoying. And then even you mentioned games, and that's the worst offender, man. Like I love video games, but I've not seen in games in a long ass time, and it's been a minute. And like, even especially if it's one thing for a black man, you might get 1 or 2 characters, but if you're a black woman, like you might get a black woman character like once every 10 years. We just got Master Raven, and that's like the only black woman character. No, Master Raven and Darlie Dagger in Samurai Shodown. So Master Raven and Tekken, and then Darlie Dagger in Samurai Shodown. So we're getting some more now. But even then, you can still count the black, like the dark skinned women on like one hand, like, and it's still, it's like, man, it's so crazy that you don't get any, like the black characters are so far and few in between.
That's what kind of bothers me, like with Street Fighter. Like you have Elena, you know what I'm saying? Like, but the male characters, going back to the males, it bothered me because all the male characters were super goopy and stereotypical, and it made me mad. And because I wanted, like, that's why I always wanted Sean in 5.
Yeah, no.
I was like, he's like, he's kind of goofy, he's young. It makes sense. But I wanted somebody who was like still could be seen as cool,
right?
Like,
not seen
they
like
would make Birdie. They would make Birdie fat, dog.
I still am annoyed by that. That was my biggest annoyance. I like Birdie as a character, and honestly, I was considering playing Birdie when 5 launched, but I just couldn't get over like. I'm almost positive that's an Ono decision because Ono likes those kind of goofy characters. So he made Birdie into that kind of character.
But he made him fat and lazy, bro.
And I'm like, I don't understand how you see that and don't understand the stereotype. Like, it's so annoying that he
became lazy and became fat. Rufus had energy. Rufus was like, I'm just a fat guy. And he's like, I just like to go eat and fight.
Well, Rufus was a fat, annoying American, and Rufus. I don't even care. Like, beyond all this, Rufus is one of the most annoying characters in recent memory that I can think of in a fighting game. I could not stand that character. Kid Masters. I'm like, this joke was funny the first 5
Kid
times.
Masters. Yeah,
I will say I'll give Cross Tekken that the funny thing about Cross Tekken is that every other character in the game, when they tag somebody in that's in their alignment, they'll call their name. And by alignment, I mean, so if a good character is tagged with a good character, they'll call their name. So like Chun-Li, if she switches out to Cammy, she'll say, "You're up, Cammy," or something like that. Or like even like as far as like Jury, which is why I like my team is Jury Jack, because they're both technically aligned on the bad side. She'll say Jack Cross, which she calls him in, and I think Jack Cross says Jury, but I can't remember. So like they'll call each other's names or whatever, depending if they're on the same alignments. And one of the good things that I'll give them a bonus point for is that their attention to detail in that, because Rufus, whenever he calls anybody in, he'll just call them Ken Masters, and I'm like, okay,
Ken, you must be Ken Masters. Like, no, as long as he's not Ken.
Partner, he's like Ken Masters, and they tag him back.
Like he did with Paul Phoenix in
right,
He looked like Ken Masters. He's like,
Ken Man. I'm like, oh, you stupid ass. It's like, all right.
He's blonde, yes, but he has a box, bro. He's like,
right.
He's like, got the same gi. You got the same everything. You must be Ken Masters.
You must be Ken Masters. I'm like, this character is dumb for no reason.
He was hooked on Ken. But yeah, that's like now Balrog. I like the change of Balrog in 5 because Balrog became they start giving him more personality.
Yeah, they toned Balrog out a lot and made him a lot less like cartoony. Especially in 5 for sure. I actually like Balrog in 5.
I like him a lot in 5.
I could if it wasn't for, I actually consider playing him in 5. I actually like his play style a little bit, but I just didn't stick with it because me, I like to play female characters a lot, so it just didn't click. But I like his, as far as the design, I actually can tolerate Balrog in 5. He's not as much of a and even the story like a lot better. Now they're pairing up with Ed and everything that made sense.
Yeah, like come on, kid, I got you.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, this is a better side to the character. Yeah,
screw Shadow Lou. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm tired of these clowns. You know, he wants to overthrow him. He's like, I'm gonna come back with Bison.
right. It was like such a different personality for him. Like he still has some of that, like some of those traits.
Money
definitely toned down a lot more. So I'm like, okay, it's a lot better than it used to be. But yeah, like. I'm afraid if they were to bring back DJ, what they would do. I would hope they would. Like, I love DJ.
Give me another black character. Give me another black man.
I love DJ. DJ's one of my favorite characters in the franchise, and I'm not gonna lie about that. I love DJ.
I like his little samba thing, like the big ass smile.
You cannot look at that face in Street Fighter 2 Turbo and tell me that was not racist as shit.
Oh yeah. Big
that was like one step away from like Sambo. I'm like, all right, man.
Yeah, it's real Sambo with big pink lips.
Yeah, I'm like,
giant
man,
smile, like
giant smile, like, man, can y'all please? They did tone it down in 4, so that's a good sign. But yeah, it was, oh man, for the longest time, I loved DJ, but I was like, I feel wrong for playing this character. But yeah, to that point, man, it's just, I mean, to put a bow on it, I'm hoping that we get more stuff like Lovecraft Country and less stuff like.
Oh, before you put a bow on it, now I'm excited. I like Nagariyuki.
Oh yeah,
that's a man. I was like, about time, man.
Yeah,
I was like, about time.
You know, I'll give Guilty Gear props, Guilty Gear Strive props too, because out of a roster of 16 characters right now, we got 3 characters that are dark skinned.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure because we got Ramlethal, Giovanna,
and Nago.
Yeah. So we got 3 already. That's a high ratio. It's sad that that's the ratio because it's like that's 3 out of 16. But I'll take what I can get at this point. 2 dark skinned characters, I'm all about it.
Yeah.
All right, or 2 dark skinned girls, I should say. I'm like 2 dark skinned, like brown skinned women. I'm all about it. Like I'm surprised it even happened. I'm like, whoa.
I was happy for a black samurai. I was like, finally a
black samurai, right? I'm like, man, okay.
You know why? It made me think about it. You know why I that because like the big talk about the Yasuke movie and Yasuke being the first black samurai ever, and people are talking about like a movie's gonna be in the works and they want to make a show and a series and stuff like that. It sounds like that's probably why they went with Nago, man. You know what I'm saying? Because like
probably
he has that vibe, man. Man, God, he's so dope, man.
He looks so cool. I can't even lie. I might kill myself. He looks. I
like when he does that bloodlust and his mask come off, man.
Yeah.
And he loses
his range.
Man, his poke range is ridiculous, man. And he has that move
that the beta yet, and it's out. I gotta play the beta.
Man, I was sitting there like he's a little on the slow side, but he's good. And I think his range,
his range
is good.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
Now he's one of those characters that is like I'm gonna hurt myself character in order to do mad damage because his bloodlust thing. Yeah, it's crazy.
I've seen some of them. I'm like, bruh, all right, that's dumb.
I'm like, bro, yeah, if you don't know what you're doing, man, you about to get slapped.
Right.
But, so he's going to be like one of those like high skill characters, I think.
But I got my girl Ram in there, so I'm already happy. I'm set. Like once they
Ram,
man,
I'm
good. Ram is there. I'm playing the game, so I got 3 characters.
I feel like they changed up some of her moves.
They did. They changed. She's completely different. Because in XR, Ram is like a mix-up character with some poking, but she really doesn't have like great pokes unless she has both her swords on her. But she releases her swords, and then wherever she positions them at, she can swing them with either button. And it's supposed to set you up. She can zone with it, but it's kind of rare. But like mostly it's to set you up in the corner and like get in like corner trap stuff like that. Whereas now the swords are just projectiles, and she throws them at a wall. She still sets you up on the wall, but she can't like leave traps anymore. Yeah, she's more like corner pressure, and she's actually better at long range poking now, and like it's zoning too. So or not zoning, long range poking, which is kind of my game is kind of like poking and like zoning. So I'm like looking forward to that. So I'm like, okay, but a lot of people were kind of disappointed, I guess, because she's so different, which I get.
Yeah, 100%. I heard
somebody that played Jury in Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and then played in Street Fighter 5. I totally get it. So I'm not begrudging them at all, but I am interested in trying this new version of her to see how it goes. So yeah, and then it's Ram. Ram went from like homicidal killer to like adorable hero, and I love it. I'm so glad he turned to a good guy.
I'm interested in Giovanna.
And Giovanna's cool too, yeah.
Rushdown.
I like the Rushdown, like the little. She looks like a KOF character that fell in the Guilty Gear.
Yeah, she does.
100%.
Like she should be part of King's group and like
right.
Like, yeah,
it's like King, Vanessa, Giovanna. Yeah. Like that would be just
Giovanna. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Oh man, straight up classic.
Yeah. Oh man. Speaking of KOF, that also got trailers out and it looks good. The only bad thing I've seen is Joe Agashi's tornado look terrible. Those
they look bad. They look bad.
Those tornadoes look bad. It's weird because every other effect looks good. Kyo's fire effects look sick. They look dope. For some reason though, the tornadoes look terrible. I'm like, y'all gotta fix that before y'all release. Put some wind on or something.
I think they're still working on their 3D, man. I mean, they're getting there.
It's getting there. It looks a lot more comparable to like what's that game? Samurai Shodown, which I still need to go back and play. It's just the online on that game is so bad. It's just
at this point I'm just like
I'll just wait till I can play it locally, but I don't know what's gonna happen because pain.
I wanted to, but at this point,
I love that game. I actually love Samurai Shodown so much. It's just the online is so bad. I just don't have the drive. The last time I played that game online, I almost blew my house up. almost straight up. I almost set a bomb in my own house. I was like, you know what? Fuck this apartment complex. Goddamn, the Samurai Shodown online. I was like, I'm done. He was gonna hit that fucking 24. Beep. I was mad, dog. It was so terrible. I'm like, this dude, it was a 4-bar whatever connection. I'm like, why is it stuttering? Why is the Samurai Shodown? The trade-off with it being so high damage for so many small hits is that every hit counts. And so if you're playing online and super delay based, every hit counts. And so if you're trying to block something, every hit counts. So if you can't block it because of input lag, every hit counts. Like you're like, oh, I didn't. Street Fighter, like, man, I missed that jab because of the connection wasn't that great. I lost like 10 HP and I dropped the combo or whatever. And that's bad enough. But imagine playing a game where it's like, oh, I missed this block by like 2 frames because of input delay, and I just ate a fat heavy slash and lost 60%.
It's like,
cool. That sounds like a game I really want to play online. No, I stopped playing. I can't do this, man. I'm done. This is stupid. I can't. And I love it. But like when I play locally, I love the game. I love playing locally. It's so fun. It really is. I really think Samurai Shodown is one of the most fun games I've played in years. And so if I get a chance to play it locally, I will. But online, can't do it. Nah, I just
But Jelani, every hit counts.
Every hit, man. Every hit counts. That's one of the few fighting games where it's like, yo, every hit counts. Samurai Shodown is not a joke. For those that have not played it, which is probably a lot of people, Samurai Shodown damage is dumb.
It's like one shot.
I don't think it's like an insult. It's just it's dumb. Samurai Shodown is a game where you don't want to get hit often, and you don't want to get hit by. You don't definitely get hit by combos. Like combos, like 2 or 3 hits, and they do
kill you. Yeah, pretty much.
And if you get by level 3, you can't. There's most games you can get away like, I'm gonna try and do a DP right here, and I'm gonna see if you can't. Don't do that round 1 and get blocked, because that means they still got their level 3, and you lost that round. That's just it. It's like, I did a DP, and just, all you hear is you like, I'm gonna do a DP. Resolve second. All you hear is, damn charge up sound. They do their level 3.
Wow. Yeah, you're like, well, it's a wrap. What you land?
Screen turn gold. They come hit you with some shit. And you're like, well, just blood everywhere. You look up. Why is 80% of my life bar red?
He told you every hit counts.
Right, every hit count, dog. Oh, that's the best. That's the best sound.
Yet to play it, though.
Oh man, if you get a chance to play like the base game, I highly recommend it. It's fun, and they got a lot of characters now. When it first came out, it had like 14 characters, but like now, with it being on season 3, and I think it's still getting more, they got like close to 20 something, maybe 30 characters. I can't remember how many it is right now. There's at least like 25 characters, and they're all. The thing about it too is like they're all unique. Like there's not. I think there's no clones in that roster.
Clones,
which is cool. I mean, not to say that clones are bad, by the way, because people hear that and they're like, "Oh man, clone characters." Clone characters, I think, are great. I like clones, but
I'm kind of on the fence with it. I mean, I like them if they have some differentiation.
Yeah, if that's a differentiation.
But if they
what does that sound?
Exact same person.
My bad. It's me. My bad.
Oh,
my bad.
Okay. Like
every hit counts.
But no, yeah, clone characters, man. It's like that is a thing where like if the clone characters can be annoying if they're like not different, which is my problem with Smash a lot of the times. It's like,
that's the only issue with Smash, I would say.
A lot of clone characters are literally clone characters. I'm like, man,
power up. Smash, man. Well, stop with the clone characters. You got so many characters out there to use.
It's not even that. Like, I don't mind clone characters.
I don't mind them either. But come on, man, look at the characters you have out there just floating. Like,
it's not even that. Here's the thing. I wouldn't mind the clones if they made them more different, and that's the problem because they can make them different. Like Peach and Daisy were slightly different, but they're exactly the same now. Because at first they were slightly different, and I thought they would kind of trend towards making them more different, especially considering you have custom moves from the previous game that you could use to make the characters different. You can give Daisy some of like one of Peach's custom moves or whatever, or two of custom moves to make her a different character and give her a couple of different normals. Boom, now you got a different character. But nope, they were like the one thing that's different about them, which I think like their vegetables did different damage or something. I can't remember.
That's one
something like that. And it was like they changed that and made it all the same. I'm like, why? Now they literally are clones. Like, what's the point? Like, you might have just made her a costume then. I'm like, and I'm upset about that because now it makes it so when I play Daisy, I don't feel like I'm playing a different character at all. I'm just playing the same character, which kind of sucks because I'm like, it'd been cool to play Daisy and have her be a different feel. But nah, they didn't do that. And then same thing with Marth and Lucina. It's a little more pronounced with them because their characters are different in the sense that Lucina doesn't have tippers and Marth does. So that does make them play differently. And in this game, in Ultimate in particular, it makes Lucina the better character, from what I've been told.
Because
you have to worry about getting tippers. Like all her hits do the same damage, so it doesn't matter about hitting the tip or the hilt of the blade or whatever. But it would have been so cool if they took like some Marth's custom moves from from Smash Wii or Smash Wii U rather, and put them on Lucina and made her that much. All you had to do is take the custom moves, make them more different, that's
fine.
So many opportunities, but they just didn't do it like that. The same.
But they're not clone characters then. You know what I'm saying? When
they're still clone characters, is like they're still clones, but it's just that they're different. They're different enough that they can be. They're justified.
Well, they can be standalone. Like Mario and Luigi are obviously different play. Stop from fireball to running, dash, punching. Yeah. To a lot of different. Luigi doesn't have a cape. Mario has a cape. There's a lot of things. Mario has the Mario Sunshine Jetpack.
You need to go that far. You need to go to that far difference. You can look at Mario and Dr. Mario. Mario and Dr. Mario are very different characters. You know, they're like, absolutely clones, but they're very different. Dr. Mario doesn't. Dr. Mario has the cape. Dr. Mario's fireballs are different. Dr. Mario hits heavier. Dr. Mario is a heavier character. He has worse recovery. There's a lot of difference you can make there, but for some reason, it's just like these other characters though. Samus and Dark Samus, same as that character.
Same exact.
I'm like, you have so much opportunity with Dark Samus to like, you haven't even make her that different. You can make her missiles different. You can make her float, make her slower. So many things you can do. And it's like, you just made her clone.
Yeah.
But Clone, make my clothes. I'm your clone, but you're my clone. I'm your clone, we're clone.
Like her bombs could have had different properties to it.
Right.
There's a lot of things. Like, you're right.
So many things they could have done differently just to make them different. And again, it's not they didn't have like some kind of like source to pull from. They could have just used the custom moves. They already had those moves there. They could just go, oh, you know what? Samus had this custom bomb that didn't explode on contact or whatever in Wii U. Let's use that to make Dark Samus different. Nah, just make it the same. Anyway.
So basically what I'm understanding is that the Smash got all these damn characters, but a lot of them are repeats, technically speaking.
Basically, they're reskins, yeah.
They got a good amount of them, yeah. It's just like
reskins. All these
and to their credit, like a lot of those characters that are reskins, you can actually modify the menu so that they show up as reskins, and you just like click on the character and they show up as like basically as alternate costumes. But yeah, for all intents and purposes, they're the same character and they're just direct clones. They're I forget what they called them. Not mirror, not mimic. What are they called? They called them something specific in the rec when they were talking about them way back when, but I can't remember what they were called. But yeah, they had a name for them, and it's like they're the clones. I get it. Some clones, like I said, some clones have done well. Like we were talking about, like Dr. Mario, and Luigi are all the same base character, just modified. Luigi's been modified so much over the years that he is a different character at this point. But,
he's pretty much different. Yeah.
But he still, at his base, he still was built from Mario essentially. But Dr. Mario and Mario are very different characters. Sheik and Zero Suit are similar. They're not exactly clones, but they're very similar. I think they started as clones. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that one. But there's other characters that are like Roy and Crom. They're very much very similar characters, but they did exactly what I talked about what Lucina and Martha should have done, which is that when they put Chrome in the game, they just gave Chrome different moves. They took moves from Ike and moves from Roy and combined them together and made Chrome, and now he's a different character. And it works that way. I don't know why they just didn't do it with the other ones. But that being said, in a game with 86 characters, if 10 of them are clones, I'm not going to begrudge them.
Yeah, it's not
because the other characters are so unique.
Of it, it's like, okay, it's a huge roster, so...
Yeah. If you only roster like 20 characters and 10 of them were clones, I'd be pissed. It was like 10 of them were like direct clones, I should say, I'd be pissed. But it's going to be 84 characters by the end of the DLC, I think. It might be 84 now with Pyria and Mithra. And you're talking about characters... Like, yeah, the early ones, that like the legacy ones might still be clones, but then you got stuff like Steve from Minecraft that like they had to reprogram the entire game to make him work. I'm not gonna hate on him for that. I'll give him that leeway. It's fine. It's okay. All right. Well, we've run the gamut of discussions and everything here, and we're going on 2 hours. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna call the axe right there. We're gonna go ahead and chop it out right there. I'm going to get up, take a little briggity break. Yeah, that's about it. I don't think I got anything else to add. Yeah. Any last words? Any last words, suckers?
I'm about to go in here and get my butt whooped by Latrion and go to bed.
By Latrion, go ahead and get sleep, man.
Go ahead and get your butt beat to sleep.
Oh, I just wanted to ask. So I know you guys talk about in the thread or in the chat, but like, are you guys doing okay during this current?
It's approved. Yes, I'll say that.
For those that don't know, they're both in Texas, so they're dealing with the winter storm right now.
Yeah, it's pretty much like stuff is melting and stuff, like almost all the way through. So the temperature change helped out, big time. But water pressure still sucks, man. Like taking a shower was like, Yeah. I was like, I thought it'd be a little bit more than what it was. I was like,
you're like, let me get a cup and just put the water in and just splash it on myself. Maybe
pretty much. Yeah, it's like it's spluttering, and you gotta stay warm. You get cold after that. You splash it like, it's a little.
Right. Yeah.
You're like, gotta get up to lather the rag.
When it came to the water, I haven't had since the thing been going on. I haven't had no problems. Monday was like probably the worst day. It was just basically, but it was just my internet that went out and my phone service wasn't working. So I pretty much had water and electricity all throughout the thing, except for last night around 11:30, our water went out. They turned off the water for the whole city.
I had water and I had rolling blackouts. And then
Jesus.
So like I get heat and then would get heat and then The internet wouldn't get internet, but the water's still running. So I had that. Yeah, I was like, man, I can make me some noodles, some boil something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, I don't buy noodles. I had to buy noodles because like these couldn't go very far. So it's a convenience store. Here I come. Drive like 10 miles an hour. I'm like, oh, this don't slide.
I'm not going nowhere.
I'm like, just down the road.
I tried to leave. I think it was Friday. I tried to, we was trying to just go and grab a couple things from the store, and that was a no-go. We learned real quick that Ice was like, so you trying to leave the house? Okay. Bad move.
Time to slide. You got the Mario Kart power slide.
Yeah, pretty much. Literally, I got to the edge of the driveway, and the road was like, yeah, we're not giving in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I got stuck on the edge of the driveway.
Damn.
Oh, boy. Luckily, we had our neighbors. They helped out.
Right on.
We was able to get back up at least into the driveway, because I was parking in my garage just to keep from, the ice and stuff. But
right.
That was bad, because, that ended up being a bad idea. Trying to leave on that Friday, but everything else has been pretty good, though. I can't,
That's what's up.
Been pretty.
That's good to hear. Yeah, I'm like talking to my parents, and they got being inundated with snow over in Michigan. So, and it's been weird because like I've been having this like weird like I miss snow, I miss winter. I wanted to go back and visit. Maybe I should move back to Michigan or like Midwest. And I know that's just the nostalgia talking for not being home for some years. Because I'm like, the minute I go back,
at least they're more prepared for
minutes.
Texas is not prepared for this.
No, for sure. Like, Michigan is definitely prepared for snow, and that's the difference. Like, soon we get that, it's like, bring out the salt machines, get the plows ready, let's go, let's do it.
Yep,
no big deal.
Yep. Yeah, down here, like everything here was just like, time to shut down. Everybody, fend for yourself. Good luck.
Turn it to the Hunger Games.
And, I kind of felt like, bro.
Pioneering, boy. I almost felt like, you ever see those videos where the people's roofs fell because the busted pipes? Frozen pipes?
Yeah.
Man, like, I think it was like, I don't know, day 3, and I was sitting there sleeping, and all of a sudden I hear like, drip, 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 drip. I'm like, what the hell is that? I'm looking around, drip, 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 drip. I'm like, where's that coming from? Is that outside? I look by my window still, there's like water everywhere. I'm like, oh no. I was like,
man, that's scary. That's scary.
I was like, oh man, I was like, I hope it doesn't like fall through here, because then I'm gonna have a whole hole in my wall. The windows fall out. When it'll fall out, I'm like, well, I mean, guess we get a whole snow in.
Literally.
Right. Like, literally snowed in. Yeah, well, man.
Like, man, I'm gonna tape that window. Use a rope and tape it up and rope it up and like, man.
Get some Gorilla Glue. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, some Gorilla Glue. Get some weave, some wigs, some Gorilla Glue, and make a caulk foundation on the edges. Like, what you use, sir? This stuff is holding really well. Oh, some industrial Gorilla Glue and some high premium weave for the neighbor next door.
Wow.
Like, is that the same stuff they put in that girl put in her hair? Yeah. Wow.
Oh.
She's fine. She got it taken out. Yeah. I'm glad she got it taken out, because I was kind of scared for her. I'm like, you put Gorilla Glue in your hair, that's going to be all inside your skin follicles. That's just not, that can't be healthy. Your brain got all kind of toxicity in there.
Yeah, she had that shit in for a while.
Yeah, for a month.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised she didn't notice the difference after like 2 days. Like a day even.
Just read the can and just say,
I mean, there is that. That was my first thought. Was like, you didn't read the can or what? First of all, why is Gorilla Glue anywhere near your bathroom? How did that occur?
I'm sorry, clout chase. She saw it and was like, I'm gonna try Gorilla Glue. Everybody knows Gorilla Glue is like supreme adhesive.
Right.
Everybody knows it.
Yeah.
Even if you don't, the name is
worse when you add water with it.
Yeah. Like,
this is still strong. Well, I use the spray adhesive, and then like things be stuck together without like putting things together. I'm like, God, it's tacky, and you can't get it off. And for a while, man, it's just sitting there. It's tacky. So she sprayed a whole freaking can of that. It was like, I'm gonna stop because keep this combo too long. We'll talk about it next time. Gorilla glue hair.
It'd be something else wild by next time, I'm sure. So we're gonna keep recording every weekend because obviously we're gonna keep watching stuff. But I'll put them up probably every other week. We'll see. I'll see if I can keep them up. Oh no, I'm sorry. We're gonna record every other weekend. Are we recording every other weekend? We're gonna start recording every weekend. Does it matter?
Every other weekend.
Every other weekend.
We do every other. Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah, we do every other. So every other weekend we record. So this next weekend we won't record, but next weekend this was gonna go up this weekend because I don't have one up to put up. So next weekend we won't have one, and then the weekend after that we'll put it. I'm trying to put them up the minute we record them, so it won't be like or not minute, but like right after we record it, so it won't be like a super long wait. But yeah, it's just the editing process for the first couple was kind of a hot mess, and like I don't know how to make this work out right now. I know what to do, so we're good. It shouldn't take nearly as long, unless you do something like I don't know, swear like the first 5 minutes of the podcast, and not gonna find it.
I mean, things happen.
It's fine. I'm just joking. Actually, what I'm saying. This is not a non-swearing podcast. It's fine.
Just a little bit of verbiage. It's all it is.
A slight bit. And that we haven't even done the worst.
Slight word, yeah, light word.
If you really want me to really swear, just let me play Street Fighter V online against randoms for an hour, and then get on the podcast.
Yeah, you're like.
Then you go, all you hear is
how y'all talk trash when you're lagging? Like I had that win, and you just happened to use Ryu. Sorry. God, I saw you doing it. Oh my God.
Tiger. No.
I can go a whole rant about online. I mean, I don't mind it because I feel like it's maybe feel like I'm playing better only because I'm struggling so hard. So reading stuff in actuality might be better because it's like I had to overread online.
Yeah, you do. You gotta be like, oh, I know what I can do ahead of time.
Like I know you gotta do something.
So sometimes this is like, what the hell?
It gets me a lot of the throw range. I can't.
2K. Yeah. Let me get on that 2K. There'll be some real swearing going on.
There you go.
I need to get 2K, but I need to get a PS5. I might get 2K till I get one.
I mean, you might as well wait till 2K 20.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you're right.
22. Sorry, 22 is the next.
That's 22. Yeah, I'm gonna wait because I can get over the summer and just wait. All the bugs should be kind of worked out of all the other PS5s, and a lot of people haven't. A lot of people haven't, but I usually like to give it time anyway. Like when a system comes, like PS4, I didn't get right away. 3, I got like half a year later.
Man, I got mine right when I got it, right when it first came out, and it was great.
Because I don't like sitting there fighting online for stuff. So I'm like, I'll just wait. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then just like I just walk in the store. There we go, and walk out.
Yeah.
No fights. No like going to 5 or 6 different stores searching for it.
People outside to stab you or nothing like that. You're like, I'm good.
Yeah. I can go to my car. I can go to my car without worrying someone knocking me to the back of my head. Like, is that a PS5? They have a lot of them in the store, so I ain't got to worry about it. One thing I'm gonna do. I want to trade in my. Have you done the Apple trading stuff? I've never done that before.
I've tried it. The last time I tried it, they never sent me a box, which I'm pretty sure was unintentional, and I just never got to trade it in. So it's whatever. See, Apple trade in, right? You talking about with Apple?
Yeah, like stuff that Terrence always does to get those epic, like every time he gets the newest Apple stuff, and I'm like, how? So other than working for Apple, he's like, oh, I just traded in my last iPad and my laptop.
Yeah, that's a good deal. Like. My last phone I would have got like I think 180 off, but I just never got the box, and so I never was able to send it in. I don't know why I never got the box to send it back in because I was going to send it in, it just never did. So now I just got an iPhone 8 that I don't use, which I now can't seem to find, which is weird.
You probably can go to an Apple store. That's what I plan to do. Is, I see how much
you can actually. I think you can do it. So the thing was, I had gone to the Apple store to pick up my new phone, but I'd already ordered the box online to send it back to him. So I didn't want to go to the store and then get another one because I already got a box coming. And it was like literally like the 2 days before I went to the store or whatever. And so I was waiting for the box and it just never came. I'm like, I could have did this at the store. I'm like, what the hell?
Do you think they'll transfer your information over?
They should. They can get your information.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about getting.
Oh wait, as far as like switching, like you mean information from your phone to another phone?
Oh, like if I take my iPad in to get the newest iPad, You think they'll be able to do like an information swap, or they probably just send it to the cloud?
You shouldn't. Do you sync your iPad with the computer at all?
I don't have a Mac, but yeah, I don't sync. So it just syncs to the cloud, if anything.
As long as you sync it, as long as you have somewhere it syncs to, then you should be able to put your information. It's ready to bring it back up, but I'm pretty sure. Don't quote.
What about
if you're going to do that? Then you can just take your old iPad in, and then when they get the new one, they'll set that up for you. Because basically, all it does when you're transferring information over, the way it happens now is it's all wireless. So as long as you have that iPad there, and it'll come up and say when you cut on a new iPad, it'll say turn on your old iPad and scan this bar.
Oh, do like a wireless sync. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So you scan it, and then it just wirelessly syncs it up and transfers everything over.
Yeah, I want to do that because if I have like Procreate and stuff on the older one, I want to put it. I bought it, so I don't want to like sit there and have to buy it again.
No, you have to buy it again. No, because even with that, like say you didn't transfer anything over, as long as you have your Apple ID from like the Apple Store, you just log in with your Apple ID and it'll just bring stuff while you're purchasing stuff.
They let you re-download it.
Yeah, you can lose that stuff anyway. But no, I'm pretty sure if you go to the store and let them know that you want to transfer stuff for you before you get the new one or before you leave, they'll walk you through that process. I mean, unless you're going to trade it in that day, you can just take them home and do the same thing, obviously. But yeah, if you're going to trade it in, like if you want to trade it in while you're there, then I'm pretty sure you can talk to them about that.
Yeah, I'll probably do that because if I can get like half off, you're saying that wouldn't be too bad.
What year is your iPad? The current.
I have that. I got the one before this current gen. Was it? I don't know what it is.
It's like 2018, something like that.
Like 2018. Yeah, maybe 2018.
You probably get decent money for that. Yeah. Okay. I don't know about half, but it'll probably take a decent chunk off. Yeah.
Like I have Terrence's Terrence ID card.
You just put the man's name out there, and I gotta edit that out.
There's so many Terrences out there. They don't know who it is.
Right. That's true.
That's very true.
Yeah. It was like throw it out there, like oh yes sir. right away. Exactly. This guy's a premium trader.
Right.
Like, don't think makes sense.
Oh, man, oh boy, we got you. You got 45% off of it.
Ladies and gentlemen, add an extra 30% to this. Right. This man knows what he's doing.
Oh man. All right, let me go ahead and let's call us a roll for real because we went on another 10 minutes, got another subject in, so you know how we do. We could do this all day. Thank you for listening and checking us out if you've been listening to this podcast. Again, in the near future, I'm going to try and put on more services. Just right now, it's going to be strictly YouTube until further notice. Just because, again, to put on other services is going to come out of my pocket, and I don't have that money yet, so we're going to just hold on a little bit. But in the meantime, you can check out on YouTube. Should work on all devices. I've had people listen to it and give feedback. A lot of people seem to like it, so I appreciate everybody giving the feedback and anybody that enjoyed listening to it. Feel free to comment on it and let us know. You can hit me up on Twitter at ROKNINDO. That's Rock Nindo. I'll just be putting this on YouTube very soon. Well, by the time this will be on YouTube, obviously, because you're listening to it. I'm not good at doing outros. If you listen to my videos, you know this. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up.
We going, y'all. All right,
there you go.
Peace.
Don't cut me off, goddamn it. I'm doing an outro. I'm doing a proper outro with the proper promotion things, and I'm trying to cut my outro. Actually, it's probably a good idea to cut the outro short. All right, everybody. This has been Rock, I and Karnajj and Sack Lunch. I will probably be back. I will say in the next few days I'll probably record another session with Genius specifically to talk about WandaVision. I'll probably coordinate something with him. Other than that, y'all have a good one. Again, thank you for checking us out, for rocking with us. Because y'all don't even know who we are. We just four random dudes that went to art school and just talk about stuff that we watch and we enjoy. So I would appreciate the fact that anybody listens to it and like enjoys it. So
Yeah.
Other than that, have a good one. Have a good weekend. People in Texas, stay safe. And that's it. I'm done for real now. Have a good one, y'all.
All right. Peace.
You saying night?
He's got a sack lunch.
Bye, everybody. Have a good night.
Oh, boy.
Podcast. We're going to go into super deep spoilers about WandaVision and the series as a whole. So if I were you, I would definitely stop listening at this point unless you have already watched WandaVision and you're cool with it, because it's about to be spoilers. I'm just saying, spoilers are happening. The spoilers are us. Spoiler Mart.
Been good, man. Just working a lot, doing OT, trying to recover from buying all this furniture.
Oh yeah, right. You moved recently. That's right. Yeah. Oh man, you get settled in. Yeah, still just getting settled in.
Yeah, pretty much. Just trying to. Yeah, it's been a rough couple years, but I'm glad I'm getting back on track.
Right on, for sure. Yeah, man. All right, I'm not gonna delay too long. Listen, bruh, WandaVision. Holy shit! First of all, so man, I don't know where to begin, because we haven't talked about the entire series yet. We've just been kind of talking a little bit here and there, as we didn't want to spoil anything. But this is all spoilers. This will be separate part of the podcast or whatever. So yeah.
Yeah, because Mr. X was still catching up, right? He was still playing catch up.
He's 2 behind. He's on 5, right? No, he's in the middle of Halloween. Yeah, he's on 5. Or
Halloween. Yeah, that's 5.
Yeah, 5.
Yep.
Yeah, he's in the middle of that episode right now.
Okay.
So he's like 2.5 behind now. And I think Adrian hasn't seen it at all, but Adrian said he didn't care. But I'm still like, I still don't want to talk about it, because I want you to see it if you get a chance to. Like, it's
yeah.
Oh man, it's like I told him, it's one of the few series where like I generally don't care about spoilers that much. It's not a big deal to me. It's like whatever. But with this show in particular, it's one of those shows where like the spoilers kind of make the show, and so I wouldn't want this spoiled if I was watching it first time. So yeah,
because this show is so full of Easter eggs. Oh my god,
man. So yeah, no, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the first episode is like really slow, but you can kind of see the hints of like something big going on. But I tell anybody I talk to about the show, I try and tell them like, hey, give it till at least like episode 4. Even episode 3, you can really see stuff starting to break down. It's like, oh, okay, stuff is starting to happen. But episode 4 is really like all that watching of like episode 1 and 2, if you watched them all the way through, like really pays off. Like they start showing you like, oh, this is what was actually happening at that time. This is what she was actually seeing at that time. And then from there on, man, it just exponentially just explodes. It's like, holy shit. There's just so much stuff leading up to episode 7 where it's like, oh yeah, this is who it was behind the entire thing from the start. And now I'm just like, I want to watch episode 8 now, but obviously that's not going to be a thing. So it's like, oh man. First and foremost, you have to give me some background on Agatha Harkness, because like I've heard the name, but I don't know anything about her aside from that she's a powerful witch, I guess.
Yeah, she is a powerful witch. I'm not sure the route they're going to go with her in the show.
Yeah,
but she actually taught Scarlet Witch control over her powers, like to have better control over her own powers, the chaos magic.
Oh, okay.
And she's also, you've probably heard, or if you've been looking at anything regarding this show on the internet, you probably hear Mephisto's name come up a lot, because Agatha is also connected to Mephisto. She's I forgot their relationship, but yeah, those two are hand in hand as well.
Okay. Oh man. Okay. Yeah, I've heard a lot of Mephisto theories like the last few weeks. Like it's probably Mephisto behind everything. And yeah, okay, so she is tied to Mephisto. That makes sense. Man. Okay.
Yeah, and I think I can't remember exactly, but Mephisto is also, I think he tried to take the life force of the twins. He has a connection with the twins too. So yeah, all of them being in this series is insane. Quicksilver being there in House of M, he was actually pushing Wanda to like do all this crazy stuff, and nobody else knew about it. So there's actually a tie-in with Magneto too, because in the comics Magneto is actually supposed to be the father of them both. Right. But there's a lot of retconning with that, like, oh, they're experiments, oh, they're actually mutants, and yeah, it's gone back and forth a little too much. That inconsistency kind of annoys me. Yeah. But yeah, which it seemed like they were going that route at first, and then they come back full circle. Agatha the entire time. Yeah. I'm like, oh shit.
Man, it was so weird. Cause I was like something told me it was Agatha, or it was not that. Something told me it was Agnes from the very beginning, because like just her knowledge of everything seemed so strange, like her timing. And then she was the only person out of the entire cast that, what was it? I think it was episode 3 that was like aware that she was in the TV show, and she's like, "You want me to do that line again? You want me to redo that line again?" And I was like, something's wrong with her, but I'm like, I couldn't really place it. But I felt like there was something evil with her when Vision like tried to like do his thing where he like brought her out of the trance or whatever. And I was like, she's clearly faking it. I'm like, she's not in a trance, because it don't even make sense for her to be in a trance at the edge of town where everybody else is. Like, she had no reason to even be there. And then, like, the way she was acting wasn't like somebody that was in a trance. She acted like she was aware of what was going on in their world. I'm like, what is happening? What is the deal with her? And then she drove. And then afterwards, like, the biggest thing for me was, like, after that happened and he put her supposedly back in the trance, she drove off. But everybody else that's in the trance in that zone still couldn't move. So I'm like, why is she moving? And I'm like, something's up, man. I had my suspicions.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that was probably the biggest one, was the Halloween episode. And she had that little witch's cackle. I was like, oh, right, there it is, right there.
You're like, that's it. That's the call sign right there. Yo, like, that was the one I was like, okay, there's something with her. Like, I don't know what it is yet, but something specifically with Agnes is something with her. Something's wrong. And yeah, then it just all hit the fan, and then I didn't expect them to show it that obvious in episode 7. I thought they would probably drag it out further, but no. Then she was just like, "Oh yeah, it's me, Agatha Harkness," and then Agatha all along. I'm like, wow, really? They got a theme song for it.
I'm kind of glad they went ahead and brought her to light. Yeah. Because me and one of my other boys was just talking about this, like all the Easter eggs and everything has been like, it's been really cool, and it's caused a lot of theorizing and guessing about what's going to happen. Right. Now it's just like, okay, now we need things to just start happening. We need a little more action now that we got, Agatha here and Scarlet Witch. Something can go down between them. You got Monica Rambeau, who's powers have finally awakened because she's able to control her energy on a molecular level. She just doesn't know it yet, but that's how she is in a comic book. So she's here now.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that next. Yeah, that was a dope scene. She walked through the hex and just like forced her way in, and like all of her different selves combined. Like you can see, she's like reconstructed herself basically. And then when she actually got inside of it, I'm assuming she could see like through the hex's illusion basically, and that's what they were kind of trying to show.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that again because I wasn't really sure what she was seeing. Yeah, it was almost like it felt like I don't even know.
Yeah, right. It's like we're just playing. Like, it felt like she was like seeing through the Matrix or something. You know how when Neo becomes one with the Matrix, where you can see all the numbers and stuff like that. It felt kind of like a hint towards something like that, where she could actually see that what she was looking at wasn't real. It was like she was looking at the the lines in between reality, if that makes sense. I don't know if that. I'm not sure what it was she was saying. They haven't explained it.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but it definitely was. She was not seeing regular vision for sure.
Yeah.
But
what really got me, and it's actually funny because me and somebody else talked about it before the episode came out. He had said something about her like bringing vision back. And I was like, wait. I was like, does that mean Vision is actually basically a reanimated corpse? And then the episode comes along where it shows her go in there and steal his body to take back with her. I was like, oh my God.
Right, yeah. And then she has whenever she has those moments where she loses control, she suddenly sees like what they actually are. But it's weird.
Yeah,
so now I'm thinking, because it's weird, because in the show, she sees them and she sees what they quote unquote actually are, or I guess how she last remembers them. But clearly, when he was trying to break through the hex, he didn't just turn into a zombie and die. So he is back. I think what's going on is that what Scarlet Witch sees is like her own guilt. Like they're not actually dead, because clearly Pedro was not Pedro's dead body. Is Agnes created or Agatha made some kind of like projection or something, or made another copy of him. But Scarlet Witch in her mind, I think her guilt is making her see like their dead version. Because Vision is alive. Because if he wasn't, in like when he broke people's mind or whatever, like we broke Darcy's mind, she would see his dead body, right? I would think. Or when he tried to break out that hex, they would see him like in his dead form, like not, just hole busting in his head.
I think that's actually what was happening when he came out, and he was being pulled apart because the only way he can exist at this moment is in the hex. Yeah. Which is why I think he was coming apart when he came out of there. And as far as Quicksilver, that one's tough.
Yeah,
because
like, if it's his dead
because
body,
we thought, well, I guess people were thinking that because of the trauma of losing her brother, the one that was in the actual MCU, when he showed up, because her powers are kind of all over the place and she doesn't really have control, she projected basically a different version of Pietro.
Right.
Because she doesn't have full control, and she didn't want to see him like his actual face again to bring back even more trauma. But Agnes brings in this Quicksilver, which makes me feel like she is actually tying the X-Men to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Huh.
So that it seems like they used her to do that.
Man, so now we got to see how far they go with it, because that was my first thought, was like, are they bringing the Marvel Cinematic or the X-Men into the Marvel finally, and like bringing that in? And there's the way they're going to do that with this series. We got to see how it ends, obviously. But
yeah,
clearly, so I guess thinking about like Monica Rambeau's power and how it manifested, did she have that before she went in the hex, or did she get that while in the hex because it was changing her DNA? Or changing her makeup or whatever. I don't know if it's DNA.
She had it before.
Okay. So
when she was brought back from the snap, she had it at that point. Actually, she might have even had it before then. Because her mom is she's Monica. Her mom's name was
I'm pretty sure it's Maria.
Maria? Yeah. So she was already connected to the superpower universe.
Right, yeah, through what's the name, Captain Marvel, Carol.
Yeah, so her mom had the powers, and they were passed on to her. She just developed differently. So yeah, she's always had it. She just didn't know it. And now, being connected to Wanda and going in and out of the hex is basically starting to make it awaken for her.
I see. Okay. That makes sense. And I was like wondering, like, man, she just did that give her powers? Because my thought then was like, if that gave her powers, then maybe what's going to happen is they're going to do the opposite of House of M, where like instead of saying no more mutants, now suddenly Wanda just basically creates mutants by expanding her hex too far. I don't know, something along those lines. I don't know. It leaves a lot of interesting doors open, like where they can go from here to like if they
so it's kind of
X-Men.
Yeah, so I'm hoping the universes get tied together, and because this is still kind of like House of M, if either Xavier or Magneto shows up at some point, I'm going to lose my mind. That's going to be the ultimate tie-in if one of them shows up.
Right. Yo, I'll be right there. We're like, yo, X. Oh my. I'll be done. I'll be finished, man. I'll be like, wow. If they even hit at it, if they show a man in a wheelchair, it ain't even gotta be him. Just show a man in a wheelchair, and I'll be like, I'll just be like, all right, it's happening. It's happening.
Yep.
Oh man. What else, man? Because like, and now I'm interested to see how they resolve this and where it goes. Because like, with what Agnes's like goal is. Because like, right now the kids are missing. We don't know where they're at. And it's like, what are her plans for that? Man, it's so many questions. Like, it's weird because like I figured once they reveal who it was, we have more questions answered. But every episode leaves me with like more questions, which is a good thing. Like with more genuine questions, not questions about like why this thing works that way or whatever. Like finding flaws, but questions about like it's got me looking into Marvel history and looking at these characters and like trying to consider how they could play into the larger scheme of things. Especially since I'm pretty sure this is supposed to tie into the Doctor Strange movie too, and they've been exploring multiverse for a minute, so it's like,
you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me? Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it cut out for a second there.
Oh, gotcha. I was just saying that. Yeah, I was echoing again. I was just saying that. I'm really interested to see how they go from here, especially since it's supposed to tie into Doctor Strange, and they're already exploring multiverse and whatnot with Spider-Man. Like if they're going to actually like go that route with bringing other franchises in, or they're going to use this as a vehicle. Like it leaves a lot of stuff open in the air. Just so many questions and how they can tie it in. And I'm excited for it, man. It's wild.
Yeah, because the production quality on this show is straight up movie quality. Straight up movie quality. They have all the money to make these epic shows, and I think Doctor Strange's Multiverse of Madness is going to be epic. I think that's going to be the one that really does some crazy stuff with the MCU and everything.
Oh yeah. I can see it, man. It's gonna be kind of wild. The possibilities are wild. And like the fact that they even acknowledged Quicksilver from the Fox X-Men universe is just crazy to me. Like oh man, I'm looking forward to it. Like I want to watch the episode right now. I kind of want to go back and watch the episode I just watched. It was so good, and I like the way they call back to other TV shows too, and how the whole thing is so well written. It's got me excited for Falcon and Winter Soldier as well, which I was already liking. I like that anyway, or like the idea of it. And I guess I didn't even realize until I was watching the clip today that showed up on my YouTube timeline. But they've been kind of sowing the seeds for Falcon and Winter Soldier back in Civil War because they were basically kind of running around together in that. And I'm like, oh, they sure were already like together, not necessarily as a team, but working together and kind of showing that dynamic. And I'm like, this looks like okay, this is what we're going to get when we get the show. All right, cool. There's a part where they were fighting. It was those two and they were fighting Spider-Man. I'm like, okay, this is what the show is going to be like. I can tell. Like, they are like an odd couple kind of deal. So I'm looking forward to that show too. And just seeing how that ties in, especially after WandaVision is finished. Like, how much that ties in, how they tie into each other or the larger universe. It's gonna be wild, man. Marvel, Kevin Feige, they know what they're doing. I got to give them mad props, man. This has been something else. 10+ year project.
I tip my hat to Feige, man. That dude's he's good. I'm glad they brought him on. They need somebody like that over in the DC universe, but I'm not going to talk about the DCMU. That's a whole different conversation. Okay. But I'm ready for all of it, man. I'm ready for all of it.
Right on, man. Right on. Well, cool, man. Like I said, I want to just touch base and make super long kind. I know it's kind of late right now, anyway. So, we'll definitely catch up next week after WandaVision goes off again, and we probably have something else crazy to talk about. Or not next week. Yeah, the week after next, rather, because every other week we do it. So we have 2 episodes. So, oh my God.
And those episodes are supposed to be hour long, I think.
Yeah, that's what a buddy of mine was saying, probably hour long. So it's gonna be kind of wild to see that and just, man, an hour long. They got an hour. Oh my God. Yeah, it's gonna be good. Oh, I can't wait. But yeah, man, I'll let you go. Do your thing, man. Good to catch up with you. And we'll see you on the next one, man.
All right, for sure. Catch you later, brother.